And welcome, everybody, to this Father's Day episode of Fat Guys on a Little Podcast. I am your co-host and glad to be alive, Steve Markey, and always joined by...
In studio, Steve and Holly. Yeah, Charles is here.
And, of course, in studio, my new driver in the house. Oh, I shouldn't say this in case my insurance company catches on to that. The new person with a license that may or may not be driving a car that I insure, Holly Markey. Holly, how you doing? And, of course, live via satellite.
He's our remote reporter.
Our remote reporter, our background guru, BV. How you doing, Bill?
Yay.
So here we are. We're at this is our 102nd episode. I'm in the background.
The background of the background. So meta.
Double the fat guys.
Online, all right?
Oh, man. Jesus.
It was either that or a picture of the computer.
No. Now, Charles, tell them was the last time we were actually in studio.
Yeah, so I looked this up because I thought it was ironic and funny and all this kind of stuff. We haven't been in the May Street Studios as a show since episode 89 on March 22nd. So we're talking 13 episodes later. So basically, we did 3 months as a remote show. So now we need to get that new in-studio feel.
Yeah.
Steve's making fun of me because I've tricked out the studio.
Yeah. Charles has spent $37,000, and we're still going to screw up somehow.
Yeah.
So that's the best part. Now, we're going to start off this week. And originally, we brought Holly on, not just for Father's Day, but the big question.
You lost his train of thought. He's got heat strokes.
The big thing that happened this past week, among other things, Holly, you have your license now, correct?
Yes.
How was that driving test that you were so panicked about?
I was panicked about it, but it was easy. I'm not gonna lie.
She's really underplaying the
Do you
panic
take
part.
the wait? For some, we're old people at this point. I'm a little younger than Steve, but just barely. What is the process now? So you had to take a driver's test with a third party, or with someone from the state. Who do you take the driver's test with?
It's like I think it's what a third party would be. What's exactly a third party? Like just a random place?
Yeah, yes, he had to take. She
So,
had to
yeah,
take it for the third
you
party.
take it at
So
a
she
random
paid
place.
for her school.
Hold
in
on, she's an
November.
honor student.
Yes,
that was
yes.
high school.
Got it.
So she had to pay for her driving school, and then after I had to pay for it.
Yeah.
And then after that, 50 hours of driving on her app. Then she took a driving test with a different driving school called Storia that was down on.
Oh,
North
it's like
Stroya.
certified
Stroya,
or something like
yes,
that.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Secretary of State's no longer gives you your driving test for your license.
I get you.
They do CDLs and motorcycle,
But someone's got to sign off on it.
yeah, someone has to sign off on it. So Holly went down and took.
Yeah.
Now she's underplaying the nervous practice part.
I was very nervous because I didn't want to fail.
The week leading up to this driving test, she made Michelle and I go down to that school because they have all the cones set up where she actually takes the
Oh, so
test.
they give you like a practice or
Yeah,
like
you can go down after
Yeah.
hours. You can go down.
Oh,
there.
that's cool.
And you're not the only one. There's a lot of parents down there.
So you're waiting in line.
Yeah, yeah. And every night for 5 nights straight, Holly had us going down there practicing, and she aced
Oh,
it.
it was
like-
a whole week.
Yeah, it was a solid
It was a whole week.
She got Grandpa Dave to go with her.
Jeez.
Me, Michelle.
Where's the place at?
It's down on Telegraph. It's
By
by,
it's like North Line and Telegraph.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
There's a church there.
Yeah, okay, I know
Yeah, it's
exactly
right
what
It's
you're
at
talking
the
about.
church.
Yeah, at the corner right there.
It's
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
church.
So she wings that, and then now tell them. So the Secretary of
test
State's
is
now
so
here in
easy.
Michigan. I don't know how it is in Illinois, but it's only appointment only.
It's
for,
really slim pickings, too,
yeah.
right?
And when you
Yes.
get that, when you go online to get your thing, it's like 2 months in advance.
Yeah.
Like if you go right now, you're probably early October is when you get your appointment. So unfortunately for Holly, the only one I could find was August 25th.
Yeah,
And
I was very disappointed.
She was.
Well, I gotta tell you,
Very.
I had to renew my license and my registration. I still haven't gotten it back. Like I'm riding dirty right now. Like
Yeah.
I can't.
They've put stuff out on a website that if it runs slow, they won't hold it against you.
Oh,
because
okay.
mine was expired during the pandemic too.
Oh, yeah.
So
I
I
mean,
drove
what do you
on
do?
until the end of May. And
I'm like, I
but
don't care.
the-
Like roll me. I don't give a shit. Like
Yeah,
it's your
nothing.
terrible ass system.
so how did you, so this is what she did. How did you find the June appointment?
How
for
did I find the
Secretary?
June? Because my one friend, because we took the test the same day, and then his appointment was in August, but he kept like checking
Wait,
back.
his?
Yeah.
You have a male friend?
Yeah, I have multiple.
Rodrigo?
That's definitely not a good guess.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't.
I'm off by a little bit.
His name is Victor.
Is it Chet?
No.
Yeah.
But we took
Someone
it
needs to be
the
named
same
Chad.
time, and then I like the Secretary of State appointment. He
I
kept
don't think
like,
guys and girls can be friends.
why?
Because
That's a different.
I got
topic.
news for
You're
you.
whack. And
I got
then,
news for you. What he's trying to do.
and then,
Smoochies.
and then
Yeah.
he got his earlier appointment, and I was like, well, I want mine. So I kept checking, and I found one on the 23rd, but he's slow and didn't fill it out fast
She
enough.
comes running in the living room with her laptop. Dad, sign up! Sign up!
I never ran so fast.
So what happens is people cancel throughout the
Yeah,
day.
you pick up the window, basically.
Yeah, now this same little girl who I can't get her to do her laundry, clean her
Yeah.
room, or do anything, goes on this sucker all day long looking
Just
for an
living,
appointment.
No,
Yeah.
you know, I found the one I got by accident.
How?
Because, you know, like, after he missed the appointment, I was very upset. I slammed my computer shut. I was really mad.
The brand new computer costs $1,500. That's great.
I was really mad about it. But then I wanted to, like, go shopping online. So I opened my computer, and it was, like, already there. And then, like, it refreshed, and it said June 17th. And I was like, oh, wow. So I filled it out and did everything. And I didn't realize the day, it was, like, that day I filled it out.
Yeah,
was the
Michelle and
17th.
I were both at work, so she had to get Grandpa Dave to take her because I was like, you know,
Yeah.
She was
But
like-
it was a very quick appointment. It only was 10 minutes.
You also could have called your aunt. She's sitting here doing nothing,
yeah,
too.
basically anybody with the last name of Markey would have been fine.
Yeah.
But it worked out. Now tell them how about the picture.
Oh, yeah. Because, like, they kept asking about the picture, and Grandpa Dave was laughing because I retook it.
Yeah, she made
You
it-
can retake your license
She's the only
picture?
person I know that did that.
Yeah, what?
She had to go
Yeah.
foof up and brush her hair.
I was
better.
fine. She was like, because the first picture.
Who gives a shit about what your license looks like?
She was like, do you like the picture or no? And I was like, one more. She's like, yeah. And then we took one more. And then
She had a glamour shot when she got a picture.
BB's so confused right now.
No, they do that when I did renew my license last year, and they.
Oh,
did the whole
now we know
look.
the
I'm
two
like,
veins.
But I didn't know you
I don't
ever took a
never
bad
plan to look
picture,
at it.
BB. Since when did this happen?
Hey, I was just like, I was never going to look at it in the first place. But
Wow.
And then everything went smooth. You paid your money, and now she has a paper
Yes.
license right now. The real one's coming in. the
it was
mail.
only $25. It was $10 cheaper than you thought.
Oh, I thought it was 35, so I was off. by
How
a
are
little.
you paying for anything? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I had
like,
birthday money. No, I paid for the license.
Oh yeah, she did have birthday money there.
Yeah, but okay, so 6 weeks from now, you need gasoline. What do you do?
License allowance.
Allowance is how much? You give her like
$13.
$3. Yeah,
It costs $15 to fill up that.
yeah, that's true.
She gets 4 weeks allowance. 1 week she
I
can
get
put in the
3.
gas tank. Oh yeah, 3 weeks.
Anyways.
while you're
Because 1 week
oppressed,
goes to her premium Spotify. She has to.
Oh my
So
god!
don't let her fool you.
No, it was originally from the phone bill, but.
Oh,
yeah.
phone bill too.
I
Either
guess
or. Take your
phone
pick.
Get a job,
Phone
dirtbag!
snacks.
Like what is happening?
He told me not to.
I said next summer she'll have a job. Because this summer I didn't think she was gonna get her license till August 5th.
So you figure there's no point.
Yeah, there's no point. So next summer she will go out and get a job. But right now she can skate, but her allowance will pay for her gas.
Jeez,
And tell Charles,
living
where-
on the system over here.
your big first trip by yourself with no parents. Where'd you go, Holly? Tell everyone.
I went to Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
That's a big thing right now.
It's so good.
You can make it at home for like dirt cheap.
We don't have one of those.
You don't have a blender?
Yes, we
No.
do. We have. We
Okay,
have a
go
smoothie
find
maker.
it, please and thank
Well,
I
you.
got a ninja
Good luck
blender,
finding
man.
it in
We
our
make all
basement.
kinds of frozen bananas. And
But she doesn't
everything,
like
sir.
them though. Whatever you make at home is never as good as it is in the store.
Oh, you're such a douche.
Well, she has to stay with her friend's breed. They got a new puppy, by the way.
What kind of puppy?
It's a rat terrier. I don't know.
Looks-
It kind of looks
I
like
don't
a
know what
chihuahua.
that is.
It looks like a chihuahua.
It
but
looks
they
like
said
a
it was
chihuahua,
rat
but it's
terrier.
like a
fit in
little
your palm of
different.
your hand. It's
Oh.
tiny.
It's 3 pounds. It's very
They drove to
cute.
Indiana to get this dog.
Jeez.
Yeah, so cute. What's the name of the dog?
Tabby. I don't like the name.
Tabby the rat terrier.
Yeah. Because it came
Holly,
with
I
the
have a
name. They didn't
important
get to
question
pick.
for you.
What?
Oh, sorry, I have a very important question for you, Holly.
What?
Did that cheapskate father of yours get the AC fixed in your ride?
Yes, it was only $70 and he paid to get it
Yeah,
done.
but I don't know how long it's gonna last.
I told her that. I go, once it dies, you're on your own.
Yeah.
When your dad got in the car, I was shocked. He's like, your old man paid to get the air conditioner. He cranked it up. He was good to go. So there you go. There's Holly's big driving
Yeah,
experience.
that's good. All right.
So now she can come over and.
So
take
now you
with
can
somewhere.
go. What are the rules? You can drive
He
whatever.
said
You have
be
a
home by
full-fledged-
10.
No, I'm talking about from the state. There's no rules attached to it.
Oh,
You can
no,
do
there is.
whatever. Yeah.
You're only supposed to have like one other minor in the car.
She can't load the 6-7 friends in a car.
that was half the fun when you turned 16.
Yeah, but a Honda
Yes.
Fit, you're not going to fit 6 or 7
Dude,
kids.
we
in
fit a
there.
bunch of people like Fairchild's cars. So we just roll in, dude.
Yeah, you're only supposed to have one per other minor in the car. And then it's like you have a curfew of like, I think it's like midnight to
When does
5.
this stuff drop? When you're 18?
After a year of driving with
Or
no.
a year?
Yeah.
With no issues, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dad's rules are you have to text wherever you're going and when you're going. and you're only allowed the local cities. You better not call me and say you're in Novi or something, because I'll be like, what the hell? So
I don't even know how to get there. so.
Hold on, but if you could go anywhere tomorrow, would it still be Cedar Point? Is that where you want to go on your own? You want to roll out?
Yeah.
well, that's a good segue, because she doesn't want to take vacations or go anywhere else with Dad, because he screwed up her beach trip.
But we are still going to Cedar Point.
So
Put that out
she
there.
drove to the beach, or you drove to the
I
beach?
drove to the
I should have drove to the beach.
Yeah, at this point. So let's recap what Steve did.
You could just laugh.
The fat Clark W. Griswold himself, John Candy from Great Outdoors. So we're gonna go to the beach. It's Holly, her two friends.
case of
Everything running
emergency.
smooth.
Yeah, you're good.
In case of emergency. I see what you're doing there, Bill. So we're gonna go to Kensington Beach. It's only 45 minutes away from us. If you don't live here in Michigan, it's straight up 96.
It used to be a very I think of Joe. Whenever I
Yeah,
hear Kensington, Joe and his mom would take me there all the time. It was big in the 80s. It got dirtier and dirtier as life went on.
Now, since then, they've actually put in a water slide for $4.
It's like a splash pad.
And a
thing,
splash
yeah.
pad and a water slide. So there is that there, and that's kind of clean. Water slide park, like right next to the beach, so you don't have to you just sit there and do it. So the four of us are going to go to the beach, right? And I get there, and then we have a cooler. We have all the shit you're going to have.
You should explain the four of us as me, you, and my two friends.
Yeah, Fatima and Bree.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, well, I was going to stay with them. And
It does. It sounds awful. I mean,
I was taking one for the team.
Heather's going to go for all that. I'm not doing none of that.
So what I did, now this is good.
What did Michelle do during all
She
that?
stayed
Stayed
home,
home.
which is a good thing. It was going to turn out.
Yeah.
So when I got out of my truck, I have these like mesh shorts on, so I didn't want to. I was going to go for a walk, so I took.
Well,
my,
you looked it up ahead of time. You texted
Yeah.
me midweek, and you were like, I'm going to go to the trails. And I immediately hit you with, well, how long are they? You looked it up and was like, 8 miles. Holy shit, I'm not doing that.
Yes.
Okay, you did it anyway.
Yeah. So I took my key fob off my key ring and left most of my keys in my truck and kept my truck key in my pocket. That's a key element later in the story.
Oh.
So then we walked down to the beach. She's got all her stuff, their food, the cooler, and everything.
How is Kensington at this point?
Dirty.
Well,
Is it
the
still-
water's dirty.
The
Yeah.
water's dirty. The beach is
The
clean.
facilities
the
are
facilities
been
clean.
updated and stuff
the
like that?
bathrooms are
Yeah,
open.
there's like a playground and stuff too.
There's a playground. There's a water slide.
They
there's
used
a
to do canoe rentals and
Yeah,
paddle
that's
boat
still there.
rentals.
That's
and
still
stuff?
down a little ways. So I leave them. They're all set. I take one bottle of water with me. I jump on the trail and I start walking around. It's going to the left.
One bottle for 8 miles.
Yeah, that
and
was
it's-
ill-advised.
And
And,
wasn't-
and the
in the-
humidity,
it was-
it's
it
like
was
100.
death out
It's like
yesterday.
100.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mind you, it was 93 degrees out with heat index. It was 100.
Yeah.
But the thing was, and this is where I screwed up. It looked like a big circle, and like on the websites, the extra miles were if you went down
Like
extra
you
paths.
tee off or something.
It is not true. If you stay on that same path, you will walk all 8 miles. So what happened was, I'm coming around the lake.
What had happened?
I'm halfway around the lake, which is
Right.
about 3 miles, 4 miles. That's why I'm texting you and Michelle saying I'm
Yeah.
dying. I finished off my water, so I'm thinking I'm just.
You
gonna,
took like a 12-ounce bottle of water for an 8-mile
Yeah,
trip
yes.
at 90.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
mean,
I
it
was
was
like-
Like a big bottle.
It was
you
like
took
an 8-ounce
little-
glass.
I don't want to
It's the
carry
most
a lot of water.
ill-advised shit I've ever
So
heard.
I'm thinking it's going to be a circle, like a NASCAR track. And as I'm walking around, you could see the slide across the water where they're at. So I'm like, all right,
okay,
this
yeah,
ain't that
you
bad.
can kind of coordinate where you're at. In your
When
head.
you get to the 3/4 mark, you can still see the slide. But what happens is, over there on that end,
Let me pull up my text for later.
yeah, there's a bunch of little lakes over there.
Oh, like little tributaries or whatever
Yeah,
that break off.
and marinas, and the trail goes around all of them. Like you're doing, like if Logan drew the trail maps.
Oh, that's what you're going to be doing for a living if you get the job.
yeah. So I'm walking around all this stuff, and and then after a while, the trail just stops. So I'm thinking if I cut
It
through
didn't keep going. Like it
no,
doesn't.
it stops.
I feel like it connects and you
Wait,
screwed
no,
up.
I did.
Yeah,
it stops.
I'm like this.
So
smells like-
I walk across a field thinking I'm headed right towards the water slide. I get to the end of the field, which is a mile down. There's another lake. I can't get across it. I had to backtrack. So that's 2 miles right
Oh,
there.
you just ate too
No
much.
water. Well, lips are starting to turn white. There was 2 bathrooms, but each bathroom, all it had was 2 toilets. There was no sinks
There's
or
no,
drinking
no,
water.
no facilities.
Yeah, I went in and I was like, I can't drink toilet water. So I started, at this point, I quit sweating. I sweat
Oh, that's
everything
not
out.
good, Steve.
And my hands were getting super tight.
Plus, he's diabetic on top of all this.
Yeah.
So where the trail ended,
What the fuck are
the
you
trail
doing?
crossed the
Being
road
dumb.
and then backtracked and went around another lake. So I had to ask a lady. I was like, "Where is the trail?"
As you're like, no.
Yeah.
At this point, my heart starts racing and I can't catch my
Holy
breath.
shit, Steve.
So I make it all the way around and I'm coming. I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I played football in my life.
yeah,
I can do this.
Yeah, suck it
No,
up,
he was
Buttercup.
wrong.
Yeah, I was.
Very, very wrong.
Oh.
So now I'm a mile away.
How many miles have you done the trail? What mile count do you think you're? What's your step count at this point when you're like?
I had my watch on. It was 21,000.
No, but before you got to that point, what were
I was probably still 17,000 at that
shit,
point.
Mama, you were fucking rolling, and it's so hot.
It was 100 degrees.
So then,
Oh, wait, you forgot. Oh, go ahead. I'll tell the part.
Yeah, and then she'll tell you her perspective. So I finally find this marina, which had a sign that said splash pad. So I'm like, I'm not that far. Okay, I got it in second.
Different splash pad.
The sign was wrong. There was no splash. It wasn't the exit for the splash pad. I
Oh,
walked a
geez.
mile. Again, the trail cut out. It was just woods. I asked the lady there, I was like, is this splash pad? She goes, no, you got to go back to the main road and take a right.
Oh Jesus Christ!
And it's another
dude.
3 miles. I was like, Christ.
Oh wow!
So I got within a mile of where we parked. My legs stopped working.
Oh, Steve, stop shutting down.
My lips are white. My heart's beating hard, and I can't catch my breath. And my
Holy
legs,
shit,
I couldn't
dude.
move my legs.
And he wasn't sweating.
Yeah, and
Why haven't you at this point hit her up?
this is what I do. I pull out the phone.
No, because I asked him at 1 o'clock. I said, "How's your walk?" He says, "Long and annoying." I'm like, "Are you almost done?" Because all three of us were sitting on the beach. We were like over.
Yeah, they didn't
It
swim
was
very
so
long.
hot. The water was so dirty. It was so hot. We were just sitting there. So he
Again,
said,
we told you this about Kensington
"Yeah."
before you got
He
there,
says
right?
half an hour. So we're like, "Okay." We get changed. We pack up everything. And me and my friends were like, "Dang, hasn't it been a half an hour?" he
3.5 hours.
because I text him. I'm like, "We're dying." I said, "Can't imagine how you."
You're dying.
And he says he tells me make it an hour, and I'm like, "Oh."
Because I can't judge how far because I kept going around little lakes.
So then, like an hour later, I text him back, "Are you almost done?" And he texts me back, "Almost," spelled wrong because he can't type at this point.
My hands were so swollen.
He tells me.
My hands were swollen.
He tells
I
me-
was trying to type.
Holy shit!
he
He
says-
hit 6 keys at once.
He said meet by splash pad. So we went and we were
So
sitting.
this
out
is
there.
when you're like, I'm going to the
That's
splash
why I
pad,
saw
going
the
to splash
sign,
pad.
so I thought the
Yeah.
splash
And
pad
we
was
were
coming.
sitting there at the splash pad. We were
Which
sitting
was
there.
a lie.
We
There was
packed
no
everything.
splash.
We're sitting there on a bench. There's no shade where the beach is. So we were sweating too. We were like, "Oh my geez." And I'm like, "Okay." And
You
I'm,
just couldn't orient yourself at shit,
I'm like,
could you?
I'm like, "Dad, are you almost here?" He spells "I can't" wrong again. he put "I can't." I was like,
Holy shit!
I'm like, question mark. He calls me and he sounds like
Dead?
death. He's all, "I can't. I'm on a bench." He said, "I need you to come."
you fucked up royal, dude.
So I had to start giving
Oh
her
my
directions.
God.
And they were the worst directions of my
I was like,
life.
bring 2 bottles of water, whatever water you have.
Holy shit!
Started
Steve.
walking here. So my theory was she'll get there at the water, I would guzzle it, feel better, and finish the walk. Not what happened.
Your bodies are
when I
shutting
got
down
there,
at
it was
this point.
so. I had to walk a walk because I got.
Did you have
lost.
to piss at all, or your body completely
It
shut
sweated
down?
out.
No, there was nothing. Nothing was coming out.
Dehydrated.
Yeah. What was your first color of your piss when you first took a piss
It
after
was
that?
bright yellow. It was real weird. Oh, so
It was bad.
Holly shows up finally after about 45
it was scary
minutes.
looking. It was so white. I asked him if he threw up.
Are you puking? You don't watch Better Call Saul, but there's a scene where he walks in the desert and his face is all white and cracked.
Dad, if you see what
It
you
looked
looked
the
like,
same.
it looked like you threw up. That's why I was like, "Are you
just like-
good?" He's over here. He's like toppling on a bench. I'm like, and I hand him the water. I hand him the water.
I was so
I hand him the water.
I like how you didn't bail until it was just so
I
dire.
was gonna make it.
He opens the water.
You stubborn fuck.
He's guzzling it. The water's so warm by then.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it was lukewarm piss water.
I had
Just
we had to use Life 360 to get me there because I did not know
that
where
tracker
I was
thing I
going.
put on the phone to keep track of her. She used it to
Oh
find me.
wow! You
I
use it in reverse, huh?
Because I couldn't. I was like, I don't know. Because he said he's by the water. So instead of going to the
And
main
you're
road,
just sitting on a bench dying this
Yeah, it
whole
was
time.
like
Yes.
a marina, and I'm sitting on a bench just sitting.
and then I'm
No one asked you, are you
No,
alright?
Emma, we were just walking by the center.
and then like I got
Dude just died.
Wow.
No one gave two shits.
Just imagine if you had a dumb kid.
because I was lost and I was like, I don't know where
I'm
to
trying
go.
to give her directions, but I can barely talk.
And then I'm in like I'm on part of
Holy
this
shit,
trail.
dude.
I'm on part of this trail, and I'm asking these two people. I'm like, do you know where? They're like,
So
no.
you're driving the truck at this point?
No, I'm walking.
Because I had the truck key in my pocket.
That's why my
no.
legs chafed really
That's
bad.
Oh.
Really bad
Quick
chafe.
question.
Yes.
Kind of cut you off for a second.
Yeah.
Quick question. Did it ever occur to you maybe to give her the valet key just in case?
No, it never occurred to me because I.
Didn't think you were gonna die.
I thought I was
today.
gonna die.
Yeah.
And
So I'm sitting on this bench. Holly shows up. I guzzle the water.
It took
I
so-
still can't watch.
You should have seen the way he drank the water. He poured it
Oh,
on
so
himself.
so she walks to you. You still got to make it
I
back.
still got to walk another
He
mile,
wanted me to
2 miles.
walk back. I was over it. I didn't really care. He wouldn't make it, but I didn't want to walk back
So,
either.
there's this old man with his wife. I begged him, I'm like, sir.
No, I had to beg him to ask. Don't let him play you. He
I was
never.
gonna walk. I was gonna
Dad,
try to suck it
he
up.
never wants to ask for help. We'll be in a store.
I'm that way too.
He'll never wanna
Fiercely
ask.
independent, man.
Yeah.
I can't
So
do it.
I always have to ask.
And
He's
and
like,
she's
you
almost
can.
crying. Her eyes are tearing. I'm like, I better ask this man.
Dude, I
and
don't
I
wanna
begged
walk
him, like,
back.
sir, can you help me and my daughter out? Just give me a ride up to the beach. I'll give you money. I had money on me. I had no
Did
water
you
on me.
break that guy money off?
I
He didn't-
tried to.
he didn't
wouldn't
want it.
He was a very nice man. We got in this Jeep. He drove me to my truck.
Wow.
I get out. This
This
makes
is
the
the
story
holy
so-
This
shit,
is the worst.
This has
part.
gone sideways.
We tell my
I
friends.
had to ask a stranger to drive me.
We tell my
man.
friends. We tell my friends meet us at the truck because I left my friends at the like.
You're like,
water
I'll
park.
go get my dad.
Yeah, I
yeah.
went. and
You
'cause
figure he's just a few blocks this
it
way.
was
You're
so
walking
far.
for 45 minutes.
And cars kept passing by and just honking, and I was like, I'm just trying to make it
Oh
to
my
wherever
God.
he is.
Yeah, so then we get to the truck. I reach in my pocket.
This
My
dumb-
key fob fell out
He didn't have his
somewhere
key.
over the 11 miles.
So you had to use your hard key to get in
He
there?
doesn't have a hard key.
I don't have a hard key.
So what do you do?
Call Michelle and sit on the fucking in the shade for 45 minutes and wait for her to show
She
up.
had to drive out to Kensington.
Yes,
and-
she had to
This
drive.
is the biggest clusterfuck of a day I've ever heard.
It was terrible, and we were
That's
starving. We were
Well,
starving.
yeah. Was there
Well,
even
we-
like a
we
beach
had
house
we
thing
had
at the?
strawberries
There
and
is a little
grapes.
bit.
We had strawberries and grapes.
And I housed the rest of the
He
grapes.
ate-
They had a Gatorade. I housed
Holy
them.
shit!
we were
dude.
sitting there and we had
How
nothing.
could it go
and we
this
were all hungry.
sideways?
Totally did.
But my mom came and was the biggest savior of life
She's never been so happy to see.
Why?
to
What
see-
happened?
because she took us home and we went and ate. I was so happy.
So she gave me my key. I knew where I dropped
So
my key.
you lost a key?
No, I
oh,
found it. It was at that marina where I died and sat down. When I pulled my
Your phone out. Yeah, you
to talk,
fumbled,
It
yeah.
fumbled out. I drove back there. By now I'm feeling good. I can drive and everything. And I went
After
over
we-
by the bench. It's
Are
in the
you
garage.
driving solo at this point? Did she go with
Yeah,
Michelle?
me and
there?
my
I put them
friends-
all in with Michelle.
You're like, dude, I gotta go find my key.
I laid in the shade for 50 minutes. I guzzled a Gatorade. I guzzled 3 bottles of water, and I ate all their grapes. I ate all their strawberries.
Your mom will be here. Just chill.
Yeah. She didn't take it too well. She started crying very heavily. Once
What
I lost
happened?
I was panicking.
all the emotions hit her at once.
Why?
I did not have
You
it.
were with your old man.
I did not have it. I was over it.
Wow.
So that was our
That
trip
is
to
a
the-
cluster fuck, Steve.
all my fault.
Holy
I'm
cow.
totally. I have no
I
one to
can't
blame.
believe how bad you are with like your bearing of stuff, Steve. You got twisted
Terrible.
around. You got bad.
I'm telling you, it was.
Something about it. That,
You were coming around. You think it's a big circle. It's not. It doesn't go direct.
So Heather and I got pretty gnarly lost when we went to Tokyo. Now, you want to talk about a little scared? Like, I'm in Tokyo, in deep Japan. Like, dude, I don't know. We got turned around in the financial district, and these guys are all business, and I'm trying to, like, find someone that speaks English.
did you have water though?
Yeah, we were okay. Like, there was places to drink and stuff like that, but, like, you feel kind of just like your whole being is like, what do I do here? So like, oh my god, like, that is gnarly.
So
Steve.
that was our trip to Kensington Beach.
It was terrible. We will never be going back. I felt so terrible. for
So
my
what
friends.
did you guys do this whole time? Just swim and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, because we were at the beach part, so we were just swimming, and then we got out, and it was like, because we got there at
Do they
11.
still have a floaties section and a swimmers section?
it's
they
just
used to
all
have
one.
like floaties section.
Because we got there at 11, and by 1, that's when I texted him because we got out the water, and we were like,
Dude, you
what the
fucked
heck? So we were playing, like, we brung, like, a game called Spike Ball, and we were playing that.
It's kind of like Lorna's skipping thing.
No, that's definitely not what it is.
Oh, sorry.
Jesus.
Spike Ball, you, like, bounce it and hit it off the thing. And,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Oh my
we
God.
were playing that, and then they got dressed because he said a half an hour, so we packed
She's
everything
like,
up.
okay, let's
And we
finish
got ready.
up.
Yeah, we got ready.
I didn't know I was gonna die.
Yeah, we were wrong.
That is
I
awesome.
I never experienced heat stroke because me and Michelle looked it up when we got back. There's 8 symptoms. I had 4 of them.
Of heat stroke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made
What's
a joke. I made
They're
a
laughing
joke.
at us not to walk 8 to 10 miles.
I made a joke.
I could walk 8 to 10 miles if I had water and it was 60 degrees.
I
Oh
made
my
a joke to my
God.
friends because they were like, we were like, dang, it's almost, we were like, he said make it in half an hour. And we were sitting there, we were like, hasn't been half an hour. I made a joke. I said, he probably had a stroke or something. Like, and
Whoopsie.
it happened. That's why, because my friend Bree, she was like, I had one of those before, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, yeah, it's whatever. And we just kept going
Is that
on.
the most like dehydrated and jacked up you've been?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never experienced that in my life.
okay.
That's
It was
fucking crazy.
terrible. I was like,
Yeah.
It shook her. I could tell by her face. I was like, I'm fucked up. Cause look at her face.
and then everyone asked me, did you take a picture? Everyone wants to
You've
take a picture.
you've never screwed up that way where like you didn't have like the right, like you didn't eat right or something like that.
My stomach's been hurting her for 2 weeks.
One day in my senior year in football practice, I didn't eat dinner. I didn't eat and went to practice on like an empty stomach. My body was shutting down, Steve. The coach was giving me shit. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like as a kid, you just don't know. 44, 45 years old, I don't know what you're up to. Yeah.
I just thought I could make it. It was going to be a circle, and it didn't turn out
Definitely
to be a
wrong.
circle. If it was a 5 to 6 mile circle, I would have been fine.
That's
that
crazy.
extra, that 11 miles.
You go figure that 11th mile did you in.
Wow,
There
it
was nowhere
crazy.
to get like a beverage in those
Nothing.
marinas.
No.
There was
There was
nowhere.
2 bathrooms,
And there's
I
like
told
no
you,
shade
it was
either.
just- yeah,
There
well,
wasn't shade on the beach.
There
on
was
the
no
nature trails,
commercial
there was some
facility
shade.
to it at all, huh?
No, nowhere. I mean, I passed the nature center with a fire.
You literally were in the desert of shit, dude. And then you're like me.
And now-
I won't ask anyone.
and it's a
I won't-
nature trail too, so it's like uphill, downhill.
it's not
round.
just a-
It's not like walking down Van Born, so
Yeah.
it takes a double toll on you. Yeah, I was fucked.
Dude, you fucked up.
Yeah, I gotta own that one.
Did you
There's nothing
check
I
how
can
much
do.
weight you lost or anything like that when you got
I don't
home?
know,
I bet you poured. So when you got so much, your body ran out of it.
Yeah, I got home. I was just guzzling water, sitting
Oh,
on the
that's
couch, just
nuts,
drinking water.
man.
That shower was the greatest feeling shower I ever took
Was
in my
it?
life.
Yeah.
Same thing with
Were
Holly.
your parents? Was Michelle freaking out? Like, cause you?
Yeah,
Well, she was laughing at you. She didn't
Well,
know the
she-
story.
once she knew I
my
was
dad
fine,
wouldn't.
Yeah.
My dad
Once you're
wouldn't
like,
tell
I'm
her
in
the
the
story.
shade,
You
I'm
didn't
fine.
tell her the story because when I got in the car and I mentioned it, Mom was like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "You didn't know he almost
You
died on a
had
bench."
your phone the whole time. That's what I don't understand.
I got so scared. I called him.
What was I
4
gonna do? No one had
No.
to keep but me. They
I-
can't come get me.
I called him 4 times in
You
a
gonna call Uber for a fucking beverage?
I called him 4 times in a row, and he didn't answer.
Shut it down and be like, dude, I'm sitting here. Like, you just kept going and kept going.
Because
kept
you keep going thinking, all right, next
Get
exit,
to here,
next
yeah.
exit.
I thought he
And
passed out.
and it never had. Dude, that's my fear. I don't think I was gonna die, but there was a good chance I could have
I
passed
don't
out on
know.
that trail.
You've just been-
And I either woke up in a hospital room
Yeah.
or I'd been out for 2-3 hours.
No,
got up.
I
and the
really
girls-
did think he passed out because he told me the directions, and I was asking people. I was like, "Do you know where like a boat area would be?"
Marina,
And
yeah.
they were like, "No, no." And then,
And nobody knows anything there.
and
Because
then-
no one's from there. Are they
So I
from
called
there?
him 4
Yeah.
times in a row, and he didn't answer. I kept calling.
Oh.
I was like, "Oh, this is the
He
4th
couldn't
call."
answer because his digits were
I,
too
literally-
small.
I was like, "This is the." I was like, "This is the 4th call." I was like, "Oh no, no,
That's
no."
a crazy story, Steve. You fucked that all
Yeah.
up.
So you almost had a funeral to go to yesterday. I called Bill, told him on the way home. It was just
BB,
fucking
you
crazy.
ever have an experience like that where you're dehydrated or got jacked up like that?
Not quite to that point, but yeah, I've had some situations where I've been kind of, where you're kind of super lightheaded and you feel like you're losing it. Yeah, that's crazy. And you said you guys started at 11 o'clock?
Yes, and we
Yes.
got home at like
All right.
6.
like
Well, yeah. So Steve, I don't know how far Steve was in the drive home when he called me, tell me the story, but it was 5 o'clock Eastern time.
yeah.
So you were probably out walking a good 4 hours?
Yeah, in 93
Yeah.
degrees.
It was brutally hot, high humidity and everything.
And
man.
it was like that here yesterday, or maybe excuse me, the day before, and it's been a little bit cooler, but
Yeah, we
that's-
chalked this one up to not very bright. I just thought I should have turned back after I got to halfway across and just came back the same way I went. I would have been fine. Again, I thought it was a big circle. I would have been fine. I didn't know that the trail's going to do
Well,
this.
you thought wrong. Anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you figure at a metro park, the trail system's laid out pretty good too. I know that you thought that. You're
Yeah,
like, okay, it's
yeah.
got to kind of
just
roll
go around
back
the lake.
or- yeah.
So that's why when you don't.
Because I remember Kensington was just kind of like it wasn't a huge lake, and it probably kind of there. But
if you were on a bike or something, probably no problem. But
Yeah.
fucking walking it.
oh my God,
Woo!
Steve, man, that's crazy. That's a great story. Though.
See, I told Holly and her friends that. You guys are gonna be laughing about.
Yeah, it's
this
a good
in 5
story. Yeah, everyone's okay. It's a funny story.
Did the words Corey Stringer ever come to mind?
No, I know what you're talking about. He died in Minnesota in practice. But yeah. So, Holly, let's go into some more fun stuff now.
Let's pivot.
Let's pivot a little bit. Now, we forgot to bring it with us, but Holly, you bought yourself something for your birthday because you got some birthday money. Tell the folks what you have and tell them what it's all about.
So I got this thing, and it's called the Comfy, and it's a hoodie, but it's like a gigantic blanket, and it's one size fits all. So, like, on me, it's gigantic. It goes past my kneecaps. And then, like, the sleeves are.
It's like a fleece blanket turned into a hoodie.
Yes.
Is what I kind of.
I was gonna order it on
which
Amazon.
is perfect. It's a 93-degree day, and your dad's dying of heat stroke. I decided to buy a comfy.
As I was walking, I was hoping I had that coffee.
Yeah.
Comfy.
Yeah.
Because it was. I was gonna buy it on Amazon with my gift cards that I got.
How much is a comfy?
On Amazon and the website, it's $40. But at
That's
Target,
like $50 too much.
At Target, I got it, and it was $30. It was $10 cheaper there.
This is the new Snuggie, basically.
And Bill's got a picture of it up there. People can
Yes,
see the
I got it
coffee.
in blue.
Holly got hers blue. Marianne bought one too, right? She bought
Yes,
one.
Grandpa Dave said Marianne had one.
I imagine all winter long that they are big. I put it out in front of Charles.
Yeah, it fits
does
you.
fit,
Yeah,
so.
we did it last.
A little more
week.
snug on me than it is Holly.
Yeah, but very comfy. I like
So
it.
now is this better than the what was the one with the blanket? With
Snuggie?
Is it Snuggie?
Yes, because you can physically move in this one. The Snuggie just goes around your feet, but it's still regular.
I forget. I was shocked to see it on Shark Tank. I've been watching an obscene amount of Shark Tank during quarantine. I don't know if you guys have. There's ridiculousness, and
We
Shark
haven't.
Tank is on all the time. But so we've been watching a lot of Shark Tank. I didn't realize it was a Shark Tank product. I didn't know.
Yeah,
Did
it
you
is.
know that going into it?
It was because like it's always in the as seen on TV section.
Oh, okay. There's a one size fits all thing. There's no sizes to it.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Bill, are you interested in buying yourself a comfy?
No. If anything, I'm always 20 degrees warmer than everybody else. So
You think Abby would like a comfy?
she probably could use 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
I'm surprised your mom doesn't want one.
Give it
Oh,
time.
she's about to make a crack. Remember, she's watching that stream.
Keep it an idea for Christmas.
No.
All right, so that's Holly's comfy. Now, Charles and I did buy the Starberries. Bill, you want to hold up your new Starberries you did get in the mail?
Yes,
right
I
after that
also
Chinese
purchased
company
the
stole your
Starberry.
credit
Did they
card?
come insanely fast for you too? I mean, they came in 2 days.
Not as fast as yours. I ordered them right after the podcast. You recall, because there was like an error where someone was trying to, get my there were the
the weird. Like,
wow. Yeah,
BB's having heat stroke.
Yeah, turn on the
My-
fan
my,
at Bill's house.
my antivirus basically blocked off the site because they said they were trying to do something funny, or they were blocking some kind of sort of a weird attempt. And so they ended up coming, I think, Wednesday. They originally said they wouldn't be there until Friday, but they ended up showing up Wednesday.
Yeah,
So
they
it's-
were fast, man. Great shipping from out of North Carolina.
Bill, did you try yours on?
I did, and it was challenging.
Yeah, they're tight, dude.
Because they're really not very well. First of all, I mean, they're not wide shoes. So I measure D width, and I'm like a 4E, so not the most comfortable thing in the world. You were dead on though as well about the amount of space in them.
so tight.
This is a 14 and a half, like the same size you guys have. I'm more of a 13 based upon width. I think I had my we got fitted for dress shoes one time, and I'm actually like a 12 and a half, but you can't find 12 and a halves. But yeah, I fill this entire shoe up, so it's not a legitimate 14 and a half by any stretch.
It killed my feet when we hooped. Oh, I got blisters still.
Yeah, I walked around in them for a little bit and then took them off. I'll wear them, when there's a reason to wear them, but they're not going to be.
Never.
Yeah, they're not going to be. Yeah, like if we were.
They're gonna be my workout
I was out there
shoes.
or
I'm
something,
trying to-
and we were going to be stupid and try to.
Yeah.
I'd wear them, but yeah, I'm not going to wear them unless I have a distinct reason to do so.
Yeah.
Now Charles and
display
I.
models, but for $15, I mean, again,
Yeah, right. 15, dude.
Now Charles and I, we shot around and played a little horse. And by the way, and
I
Holly beat me.
smoked you.
I am terrible. But now I didn't get blisters. You did.
I got blisters, but I wear a 14, a legit 14 in my shoe. So
I wear 13.
yeah, so my work boots are 14 wides and stuff like that. They're a little, but no issue. Those 14 and a half and those Starburys destroyed my feet. At the end of that day,
curl
I
your
still
toes
got a
to get 'em
huge
in or
gnarly
something?
blister on the back of my one.
What did you say, Bill?
Did you have to curl your toes to get them out?
I mean, I don't have the width issue as much as you and Steve do, but I wear a legit 14, and there's no way that's some Chinese sizing on those boys. Get those things
leg
huge.
Was nowhere because I didn't feel like it wasn't. I expected that I would squeeze my feet in widthwise, but then there'd be like 2 inches of room, and there wasn't.
Yeah, there's
Didn't
no
feel
way.
like there was much room at all.
Yeah, it's like when you buy like a 2X random thing on eBay and it comes from Xinjiang, China, and you go try it on. And
It's
you're
like a large.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
So there you go, the official shoe of the podcast
Yeah.
is Starburys. Bill has a pair. We gotta get Holly a pair now.
Dude,
you want
get
some
you
Starburys?
Mills.
No.
Well, you have blisters to go with your uncle too.
Why do you have blisters?
From
'Cause she
walking,
had to walk 2 miles on a pair of Crocs.
walking
Put your
barefoot,
jelly shoes on?
walking barefoot in a pair of Crocs for over a mile.
Oh, that's because Crocs suck.
Buy real shoes.
Yeah.
We were
she
at the
didn't-
beach.
She didn't anticipate.
We were at the
walking
beach. We were going in sand.
So there you go, the Starberry report. Charles has tore up his feet.
Pull out the Cheetos.
Holly loves comfies. Now, Holly's excited about this next taste test. Unfortunately, Bill doesn't have them there
Pimp
in
it, to
Chicago.
the stream camera there.
I
show
hope
the
they're
camera.
really good.
These are brand
Yes,
new.
again, the taste test is added the day of the.
Well, in all honesty, I've been looking for these for a couple weeks. They are only at a Circle K gas
They're
station.
the only ones that carry it, or that's the only
Walmart.
place you-
They're supposed to be at Walmart, but I don't see them. We
Oh,
couldn't
okay.
find
you,
them.
You just haven't seen them, so they
3D.
carry. They carry them in other places. So these are Cheetos and Flaming Hot Pepper Puffs. What are they?
Yes.
What's the full name?
That's it. Cheetos Flamin' Hot Pepper Puffs. These are supposed to be the hottest.
Are they like ghost
Hurry up
peppers
and
or
take
something?
your one so
They're
I can
supposed to
eat
be
it.
hotter than the Flaming Cheetos and all the other ones.
Okay.
They're
I'm not a
only-
real big fan. Holly already downed hers. Wow, she ain't messing around.
Good.
No water. No water.
I don't need it. Good.
Are they really hot?
I don't think they are.
Okay.
I hate cheese puffs, man. Cheese puffs are the
Yeah,
most
they're not. The
overrated
curls
thing.
are good,
They
but
get a
the
little
puffs
hot
are-
afterwards.
Yeah. I like a regular Cheeto. I don't like a puff.
This would be much better as just a Cheeto. I don't,
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
pretty
curls.
spicy. I would say they're hot.
They're hotter than a Flaming Hot, I
Like
think.
if you eat another one, they get hotter.
Okay. Hit that.
Charles gonna eat the whole bag and not drink any water.
They're good.
They're not that bad to me. I don't know.
I like them.
They got a good shape to them. They look like peppers.
Yeah,
I
Hey, Holly, I got 20 on you just pounding the whole bag right now and no water for 10 minutes.
You actually give me $20?
Do it.
no, you have stomach
How's,
problems.
Yeah, them Takis.
Have
are
you learned
terrible.
nothing from your
Venmo it
father
to your
this weekend?
dad. How's
Venmo. Dad, will you give me $20?
No.
But he just said.
Steve's not allowing her to take the challenge.
Yeah. Well, she's had stomach problems for the past couple weeks.
Translation: she can't poop. If anyone has any home remedies for Holly's poop, please hit the show up.
She's already.
So,
So
get some X-Lax.
I'm not a big
But can I
fan.
still eat them for $20?
What?
Well, no, you were supposed to house them, though. You've already waited too long.
I
Get it.
can't eat that fast.
No, don't eat.
I don't like a puff. Me and BB are on
Yeah,
the same
puffs are-
page. I much
What
prefer
about like
regular.
a puff ball, like a cheese ball?
No, I don't
I
like a
like a good
puff.
cheese ball
They
every
just
once in
think
a
You don't like a
spit on my
puff?
mic. I like a Cheeto. I don't like a puff.
Yeah, the standard cheese curls where it's like it's knuckled and you'll just a thin thing.
Well, I don't mind it. If I was into Flaming Hot, I'd probably eat them, but I don't like that. I'd rather just have them cheddar. I don't know.
Steve's like, what's wrong with cheddar?
What's wrong with cheddar?
Every once in a while, though,
you
Flaming
are
Hot
the
stuff.
expert at the Flaming Hot stuff. What do you think?
I like them. I think they're good. But they're just like, they already have regular Flaming Hot Cheeto puffs.
I like a Flaming Hot Funyun.
Oh, you picked the
Oh, that's
worst
good.
one.
Yeah.
Do you like Flaming Hot Ruffles? Those are terrible too.
I'm
make
not
Flaming Hot
your
Ruffles?
age. I don't like Flaming Hot everything. I know every kid nowadays.
Good
Like,
or worse than Takis?
Taki's got a better flavor. The
I like
lime and
Taki.
the lime.
The purple bag.
Yeah, the lime and the Taki stuff tastes okay. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I like Takis better, but these are good.
All right. So there we go. The Flaming Hot Cheeto Pepper Puffs. The long, only at your Circle K's right now.
Yeah. So would you
Circle
give
K
it a
was
going
kinda
around the
nice.
room? Would you give it a thumbs up?
If I was into Flaming Hot, yes. I'm not into Flaming Hot, so no.
Steve's not anti-flaming.
I
Holly's
like
a big
it, yes.
thumbs up.
We got 2 bags.
I think it's good. It's just, to me, it should be a Cheeto. That's my whole thing. It's just
well, they have that.
They have those. So this is the.
I'm anti-puffs. Is what I think is what it boils down to. Cheese puffs.
They
Puff,
do
puff.
stick to your teeth a little bit, but only at just now. Charles, where is our Circle K? Do you know?
There's a Circle K at North Line there by where she was doing it.
yeah, that's where we took it. It
That's
was
where we
it was
went.
nice.
I
in
know
there.
this because Lorna's Gymnastics is at North Line, so I'm always
okay.
in that area.
It was nice in there, and it smelled good too.
Oh wow!
It's a new place.
It was kind of fancy. Like they had a whole like
new.
cafe part, and
Yeah.
it smelled like pizza.
I couldn't tell you where any other Circle is it associated with like Kroger or something? Is why it's called Circle K.
I don't think so. I think it's a BV Captain
Yeah,
BP. Just
we do a lot of business with Circle K. They're a fuel and convenience brand individual. In some places, like out here, they're like around. I mean, I've got like 3 or 4 of them within like a 3-mile radius.
I found
And
3.
here, they're mostly combined with like the convenience store, Circle K, and the fuel is like Shell. They have connections with, or they have stuff with BP in other parts of the country. In some places, it sounds like was it just Circle K? Like there wasn't like a different like fuel sign with it either.
BV's deep dive into
Yeah.
the gas
Well,
station.
no,
I didn't
Circle
see
K
no
is a very
Exxon or
large
anything, yeah.
fuel and convenience company.
It just looked like a
So,
really
and
big
their convenience
speedway.
stores are.
It's it's like a
Exactly the same.
speedway.
It's
yeah.
stuck in my teeth.
Yeah, no, I got them stuck too.
That's puffs, man. Puffs do that. Puffs suck.
All right, so Cheeto Flaming Hot Pepper
I think
Puffs.
we're all up. If
If you're into the
It's
flaming
good.
hot stuff, it's definitely. But it's
I
not gonna
agree.
set your mouth on fire.
I think Fatima, the actual Cheeto enthusiast, would approve.
the Cheeto enthusiast.
When I tell you
Full
she's
disclosure,
Well,
we bought a
how does
second
one
bag.
become a
so she
Cheeto
can-
enthusiast?
exactly.
No, that's
I'm
just my
genius.
best
When
friend.
this kid
What?
only lives on Cheetos,
I'm telling
Oh,
you,
okay.
it's a thing.
Has she eaten the requisite 10,000 bags?
Whoa.
Be an expert.
In her lifetime,
That's 10,000
probably.
hours,
Yeah.
dude.
Well, we bought a second bag of these so she can take them to.
So she can be called into court to testify for
Yes.
Cheetos.
Not hot enough. All right, so let's go into some reviews this week. And Holly's going to have a lot this week, so a lot more than us,
Wow.
actually. One thing I did see I didn't put on the list was Charlie's Angels, the new one, just to see how bad it was.
It was
I'm not.
bad.
It was terrible. I'm not going to talk about it. It's a 2 out of 10. That's all I'm going to say. It
Oh,
was
man.
bad.
I don't like that Kristen Stewart chick.
She
that the
tried to
blonde
play
girl?
like a
Oh,
That's the
She's
Twilight
terrible.
girl.
the girl off Mom Show.
She's playing Princess Di.
Really?
Yeah,
Was she
people
the one
are
off for
livid
No
about
Whammy?
it.
I guess I won't be watching that. No,
No, that's Elizabeth Banks.
Oh.
She's in it. She directs it.
Yeah.
And stuff, but 2 out of 10. Terrible. I'm not going to talk anything else about it. Chris Stewart's terrible. Now, I also did watch Crossing Swords. That's this new animated one on Hulu. They look like little Fisher Price people, but they act like the South Park kids. And it's all set in medieval times and stuff.
I seen you watching that. I was really confused.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
new show. It just premiered.
Yeah,
right?
it's 10 episodes, half hour each. It suffers from what Sausage Party suffered from, where it's trying to be too over the top and zany. It's funny in parts, so it's not terrible. Holly's loving those pups. She had to get that water out, though.
Yeah.
But I'd give it a 5.
What's the premise of it?
It's a medieval town, and there's a boy and his brother and sisters. Like his brother is a bandit that robs people. His sister's a pirate queen, and his other brother's a clown. And he wants to become a squire for the king. And he becomes a squire, and he gets a bunch of weird jobs he has to do. And it's okay. I only watched half the season so far, but like I said, it tries for more over the, like they'll be naked and having sex and giving it. So it's really over the top is what they're trying
little
for.
much.
Yeah, it's very Sausage Party formula. So I give it a 5 out of 10. Where South Park.
I'm looking at our list today, and boy, it is a bunch of crap.
Yeah. Well, that's why I brought Holly. So 5 out of 10 for me on Crossing Swords. Maybe by the second season it'll be a little better, but I highly doubt it. So next up, Holly, you finished it. None of us three have ever
Fuller
watched
House.
Fuller
BV's all
House.
about it, though, isn't he, BV? Aren't you?
it. A Fuller House fan? Just-
BV's all about Fuller House.
No, I'm not.
And what do you think of the final? Was it 6 episodes? The last?
No. Well, the first half I didn't originally watch because you know how it came out in 2 parts for
Yeah.
the final season. I didn't watch the first part right
So
away.
did you go back and watch the first part?
Yeah, so I watched the first part and then the second part all together at once.
Altogether, what is it? 12 episodes?
I honestly don't remember.
Okay, it was that good.
I really don't remember how many episodes it was. No clue. But
I feel like you talk about this show every time you're on the show.
I love Full House.
Yeah, every time you're on, we got to get a Fuller House update.
Because it's good.
So-
but now it's over. It's just sad.
So what was the final 6 episodes? What was the major storyline going through it?
So
She gets a meth habit.
DJ, which was like the main sister, gets married to her high school boyfriend that she like
No one should marry
restarted
anyone
dating.
they dated in high
And then
school.
Stephanie Tanner,
checks out.
Stephanie Tanner got engaged, or she was engaged too. And then Kimmy Gibbler got re-engaged again. So they had a triple wedding.
Does Kimmy Gibbler look better? She's still a horse-faced and ugly.
She looks the same.
Just same, just older.
She looks the same. Yeah.
Ugh.
But they
Not
had,
an attractive woman at all.
so they had a triple wedding, and then everyone was supposed to like move out the house because all 3 families were living inside the house, so they were all supposed to move
In
out
San
after the
Francisco,
wedding.
how much would that house be in San Francisco?
But
Probably like $2
Danny,
million.
the
Yeah,
dad,
it's like a $2.5 million
paid
house.
He paid for it though.
Whatever.
I mean, so they like all lived there, and they were supposed to move out after the wedding, and then they had the wedding. And the last episode, they were like all moving out and leaving, and they were all crying. And then they knocked on the door at the end, and they're like, "We don't want to leave. We want to stay." So then they moved back in, and then it was over.
So they're gonna just live
At Bob Saget's house
with Bob
forever.
Saget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was Bob Saget in the last episode?
Yes.
Was what was the guy with the voices?
Joey.
Dave Coulier.
Dave Coulier, Joey, was he in it?
Yes.
He was
Uncle
banging Alanis Morissette.
Uncle Jesse.
Yeah. The subject of
Yeah, you ought to know, right?
yeah.
And
So,
Lori Laughlin in it, or was she too busy?
yeah.
No,
How did
they
how did
had to
write
come up
her
with an
off?
excuse for that. They said because her and Jesse had like a little girl that they adopted, so like him and her were in it, and then they're like, "Well, where is she at?" And they're like, "She's in Nebraska helping her family."
Oh.
That's how they like got rid of
Well,
it.
she was kind of helping her family.
Get into too many colleges. They're throwing the books at those people, man. Every time I see that story, I can't believe it, man. It's like, what is going on? You know how many people pay to get their kids into college?
Yeah.
How is this not why are we going after Aunt Becky?
So on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you give the final season, Holly?
7.5.
Jeez.
Pulled out the halves.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Fuller House reboot as a whole?
Full House was obviously a lot better.
The OG Full House is what
Yeah.
you're saying, yeah.
It was a lot better. But Fuller House, I liked it, and I know my friends liked it too. But I know a lot of people who didn't like it at the same time. Like they thought it was dumb, which it like kind of.
Now, did the Olsen twins show up at any
No,
point?
they make jokes about them like not being on it.
Okay, so the Olsen twins are never referenced. Well, what is Michelle? Was the little girl?
Michelle, yeah.
They never mentioned Michelle at all on the show. She just died or something.
No, they just like they make a joke. They're like, well, like they'll make a joke about like them in real life. Like
How
the
many
twins.
seasons were in this reboot?
5
5 seasons of that shitty show? Wow.
or was it 6?
That's 5
I
seasons
think it
too
was
many.
6.
Yeah,
It was 6. It was 6 or 5.
That's crazy.
All right, so there's Holly's full of luck, and now let's continue down this weird Holly train.
This
Holly,
one's so good,
on Netflix. You say that about everything you watch.
but this one's
though.
actually like really
so
good.
good. Bill found the picture of it. Alexa and Katie. What is this about?
So this one's 4 seasons, but the final season just came out, and I watched it, but it's because the one girl, Alexa, was the one with the purple hat behind BB. She had cancer, and then her best friend Katie. They were going into high school, so they were freshman year, and then she got cancer. So her best friend Katie, and then she like shaved her head, and they just do everything together and going through high school, and then. The
There's
last,
so many of these like shitty over the top shows where like these kids get cancer and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a million of these.
but
shows.
after the second season, she didn't have cancer.
You just lost the cancer?
No, like she because she was like bad,
She's in
so she got
remission.
over it.
Mission?
yeah,
And
Steve's
then-
not aware of that BB.
But
yeah.
the 4th season, which is the one I just watched, that one was this one was probably my favorite because
You made it through 4 seasons already?
it's only 8 episodes a season. It's
Oh,
really
okay.
short, and they're only 25
Hopefully they're
minutes.
half-hour shows.
They're
Yeah.
25 minutes,
Okay.
really quick. And the 4th season was their senior year, and that one was my favorite. They like graduated, got into their colleges, but then like they had like this whole plan.
Do you see yourself in that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it is. I
Yes.
was like, I'm so going to do this.
Yeah, but they like had this whole plan, and then their plan like didn't work, and yeah.
By the way, side note though, way to just shit in your mom's cornflakes. When
About
you were
what?
like, I want to go away to college. Out of nowhere, I said that one. I
Because
was
it's
like,
true.
that's not going to go over well with Michelle.
Steve, and dinner got awkward.
Yes, it did. But anyways, go ahead.
Well, it was true.
So Alex, so we're not going to say the name because the Charles Speaker and
No, I
Katie.
just turned it off. You're good.
Oh, okay, Alexa and Katie, what do you give that as a series as a whole? So
As
far?
a whole,
Yeah, 1 to 10.
I like it a lot. I would give it like an 8.5.
Wow.
An
Why,
8.5.
why do you like it so much? Because you can relate to these girls?
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
man.
it's
I
it
just wanna
reminds me of
know-
me and my friends and like what I think.
Because what is it? There's like The Fault in Your Star. There's like
I didn't
1,000 of
watch
these
that.
things. They're all the same premise. I don't understand. Like,
no matter what you're into, there's 1,000 of them. Like, how much superhero stuff for me? How much
Yeah, I
war
guess.
stuff and,
I feel
English
like
baking shows are there for you?
there could be like other topics, I guess, about like teen dramas, but it's always like, one of the kids is dying.
Stick
and-
it to the money. You gotta
Yeah,
stick it to the- stay
weird.
with
I
it.
think this one it was based off the writers like when she was younger.
All right, so there's 2 of them for you. So you're saying we only got guys' point of views on this show. We got a 16.
Oh, great.
Now, how you don't have to go over each show, but just give us some highlights.
Because
of
you
Hulu.
got you got with your dad recently about like, we need to get Hulu back, Dad.
Yeah,
you
and
started
you added
needling.
about 5,000 bad shows
You're
to my
right,
list.
I really did.
So what are some highlights on Hulu that maybe girls of 16 to 20 should be watching that you?
Because we got a lot of
Well,
listeners that are that
I
different.
watched
fits in with our demo.
I watch like a lot of the older shows. It's just like older shows, but I just rewatch it. Like Big Time Rush, that's the one. I love that show.
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Big
What's
Time
the
Rush.
premise?
It's like a boy band. It's like a boy band, and then they move from Minnesota to California, and they're just
a boy band in Minnesota.
and they move to California.
Bullshit. God. At least it's not cancer, I guess.
And then the other
What's
one,
that, BB?
Can't be worse than NSYNC in Kentucky. So.
and then there was Drake and Josh. Full House is on there. I haven't started yet, but I'm gonna watch that. I'm excited.
Again?
Watch Friday Night Lights.
I don't even know if that's on there. Is it on there?
Yes.
Oh, what is that?
Oh,
It's
dude.
high school kids playing football.
NBC show. Coach Taylor.
It's about high school kids.
Oh,
It's great.
Okay.
You probably won't like it.
No, it's very football based.
I watched a
great.
show about football. I mean, it had other stuff though.
Is that All American?
Yeah.
Yeah, that show sucks. Friday Night Lights is 10 times better.
And what else did I watch on Hulu? I had so much like reality TV on it.
I put this show on here. This isn't for you. I put this on here because this Love Victor show,
Yeah.
they're pimping it everywhere. It's
Yeah.
about a bisexual, like,
Because it's
teenage
based off
kid.
of Love, Simon. Do you know that?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
that's a
like-
bad movie, right?
Yeah, but it was. They're all based off books.
All right,
And
well, what the hell is Love Simon?
It's like this guy, and he's gay, but he doesn't want like everyone to know. So he secretly
It's
talks.
like a beard situation or whatever.
So
It's
he like
crazy.
secretly talks to like this person online, and he doesn't want to get exposed. And then like he comes out as gay at the end.
That's a big thing in 2020.
Dude, this whole show, so like he's in love with like this barista boy,
Yeah.
and then like when he's dating this chick,
on my-
that's weird.
It's on my
know
list.
all this.
They would keep pimping it on AT&T.
It's
I'm like,
on my
whoa.
it's on my list now because I've
Like,
seen
how
so
is
many
it like
people
middle
watching it.
America flipping out on this? But I
About
guess
what?
it's because it's on Hulu. About like the fact that they're showing like a teenage kid like into boys and shit like that. Like, I'm shocked that parents aren't at an uproar about that.
Really?
I'm
Why?
like, in the middle of that there's how many crazy religious nuts in the middle of this country?
How many of them have Hulu though? I
Yeah,
mean,
that's what I'm-
Because
this would never make it to
Because
network.
it would never be on
Never.
ABC.
Love
or
Simon, Love Simon, the like original
That
movie
was like a
came
regular
out
theater
a few
release,
years
wasn't it?
ago. It
Yeah,
came out a few years
it's like
ago.
a red poster or something
And
like that.
but
yeah.
people like a lot of people were supporting it though. Like they weren't against it,
All right.
and now they have the show.
So there's a look at all of Holly's what she watches when she's laying on her floor in a lump.
24/7.
24/7. So, which one of you guys saw Long Gone Summer?
I did. So I'm hoping BV did too. Did you see this?
I did.
Too?
I
Yeah.
heard
So
full disclosure,
Go
though,
ahead.
on the radio, they roasted this. They did not like it. But go ahead.
okay, and I'll tell you why. I think I know why. So
Yeah.
this was and again, I'm sure BV will co-sign this. This is a 30 for 30 again this past weekend. And they went back to the traditional format of it, BB, right? I mean, you're with me on this. Like, we're back. We're away from the Bruce Lee stuff, and I was totally entertained by it. And basically, it's the 1998 summer where Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa go toe-to-toe for the home run record. Sammy Sosa looks incredibly odd, and he's throughout the whole thing.
Oh, I gotta see it. Just
I think the reason why radio probably roasted it is they only touch on the steroid part of this at the very end, and I think
barely any.
Do you think of that too, BV? I mean, it was very.
I'm sure that's why they're doing it.
Yeah,
because it was like the last 10 minutes of the show.
Correct. Yeah, and I didn't know McGuire came out and just openly admitted it. Sammy Sosa was a little more like cagey about it and stuff like that, but. I wish they'd just let baseball players just juice and jack those balls out. Just let a huge make it like strongman. Just accept it and don't really,
7 foot tall, 300-pound dude walks
just
out
let
there.
him crank that ball, blow the cover off that thing. This was great. So this is back to, again, that original format. They had Mark McGuire. They had Sammy Sosa. They had a lot of people they had the coach from she steals another puff. They had the Tony La Russa, the coach from the Cardinals. They had a lot of the impact of how Sammy Sosa kind of came out of nowhere. They had freaky new Sammy Sosa. I loved it. BV, are you with me on this? Did you have a great time with it?
I was okay. I was much better than the Be Water.
Yeah.
And I like the more traditional format. I do think it's kind of, I know what they were going for, but I do think that anything that you're going to cover in that era now, it's a bit weak not to really address it at all.
Yeah, that's the gripe.
Yeah,
they hit it at the end, though. I don't think BB says at all, but they definitely talked about it. I don't know.
But on the radio, they said they sugarcoated it quite a bit.
But it was captivating for the country. People, I don't think that. Steroids notwithstanding, I don't think you can, and BV has got to co-sign this. People were way into that home run race. I don't know.
I was way into it.
Yeah, it was great TV, and to just check in, and they were jacking that ball. I just think baseball, man, just let them juice the shit out of that. I don't know, man. I'm so annoyed with baseball.
Yeah. There was also a cork bat incident with Sosa that year.
Yeah, but wasn't that later? I thought that was later.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That may have been later.
Yeah.
But
so
they did. Yeah, as a documentary, and back on track here. So, I'm with you on from the production standpoint and the way they approached it was great. I would like to have seen them.
Catching up.
My tongue's hot.
Oh,
Holly's over here
I would
crying.
like to have seen them delve into that a little bit more because, I know that they're trying to recapture the way that it sort of captivated the country at the time. I get that, but I would like to have seen them be a little bit more, kind of cover all angles and a little bit more completely.
I don't know. And then they Todd McFarlane at the beginning of it. He bought the home run ball for $3 million and stuff. I was totally entertained.
Too.
Yeah, he had leading up to it. He had 4 or 5 balls leading up to the main. I thought it was great. I remember it vividly. I was 19 years old and all that stuff, so it was pretty. I had a great time with it, and I was totally into it. It's weird that McGuire, they kind of shunned McGuire, and then they slowly kind of brought him back, but not really completely and stuff. And then, like I said, Sammy Sosa is just a weirdo now. It's really super compelling.
So, all right, guys, scale 1 to 10. What are you guys giving it?
I give it an 8. I was that entertained by it.
And Bill?
I give it a 7.
7. All right. So there we go. So Crossing Swords is a 5 and kind of over the top. Fuller House is a 7.5 from Holly. She pulled out the 0.5.
Yeah.
It could be a 7.
Alexa and Katie, you have to watch with your Alexa speaker off.
Yeah.
That's an 8.5. Holly really related to that. Holly's looking forward to Love Victor. And Charles and Bill both agree the Long Gone Summer, 30 for 30 on ESPN. We're pretty good. Now, this week for Steve's Animation Corner, I got someone joining me.
Yeah.
None other than Charles himself.
Yeah.
Holly walked in the room when I was watching some of this and goes, "What is this trash?" And walked away.
Can I take a minute? Instead of anime, he always goes, "My Japanese animation I have to watch after dinner."
Okay, yeah.
I don't look
How is it
abbreviated.
different?
Well, Studio Ghibli is totally different than anime, I would argue. I would definitely say that it has a specific look. They also talked about how they're doing their first CG film on Studio Ghibli. Did you see that this past week and all that?
I did see
So
that.
anyway, go ahead.
Studio Ghibli is kind of known as the Japanese Walt Disney. So his movies and stuff aren't usually giant mech robots.
What's this guy's name? Yamasaki?
Yeah. There's no tentacle monsters or giant robots. His is more fantasy, family-oriented stuff, is what I understand.
It's where all your Pusheen stuff comes from and all that. Yeah. All that weird culture, that cutesy culture that permeates
Kawaii.
Japan.
There you go.
There you go. Your kawaii culture is from the Studio Ghibli, is the roots of it.
So Charles and I both agreed on one, and I thought we'd go. Now, this one came out in 1988, so we got to consider the time frame and stuff like that. Hour and a half long. My Neighbor Totoro.
Well, hold on. So, but HBO Max has the full
they
Studio
have everything,
Ghibli.
yes.
Is this that gray guy that's like?
Correct.
Real fat
the huge
rabbit.
cat.
Totoro?
Yeah,
Rabbit
I know that.
slash
Yeah.
raccoon slash
Yep, you've
cat.
seen them.
That's a Hot Topic.
And there's-
That's all over Hot Topic.
Yeah, and there's a giant cat bus too. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't get
really creepy cat buzz.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah, so I picked it up through there, but go ahead. So you,
Yeah, we both watched it on HBO Max. We watched it there. It's an hour and a half. I will say the number one thing that sticks out to me on this, it is out of all the Japanese animation I've watched, whatever you want to call it, the best voice work out of all of them.
yeah, it has a bunch of
Hands
names
down.
in it too. Yeah.
Side
So-
note: Tim Daly plays the father, who also is the voice of the animated Superman in the Warner Brothers series.
Oh, okay. I thought that the production.
Yes, I know that. All right, I didn't have to
Also,
look it
also
up.
previously from the show Wings.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
there you
yes.
go.
And another side note: Tim Daly retired from being Superman, and his son took over as the voice of Superman.
No one cares.
I'm just saying.
Steve bringing all the hard facts for you.
I didn't have to look any of that up. I just knew it.
Okay.
That's the sad part.
I got to tell you, I liked the production value of it.
Yep.
I like the animation style. I
Yeah,
think that it is
Considering how
top-notch.
old it is, the animation still holds
It
up.
holds
That's
up. It
definitely
looks
true.
great. It looks fantastic.
But there's a butt coming.
And ignore everything before the butt because that's what everyone says to do. But the story is so convoluted and makes no
Isn't that-
sense.
Well, yeah, it doesn't make sense. So basically, a father and his two daughters moved to a house in the
In
country.
rural country, like
Yeah,
rural Japan.
But the mother is in a hospital because she's ill. They never say why or
They
why.
didn't say they were moving to be closer to mom.
Yeah,
That was
nothing.
never discussed.
And there's two little girls voiced by the Fanning sisters, Dakota Fanning
Yep.
and her sister.
Yeah.
And they just befriend that giant fluffy thing you've seen in Spencer.
Well,
and
it's
stuff.
in the forest. It's the spirit of the forest.
Yes.
So the littlest daughter stumbles into the forest and finds it randomly.
Yes.
Because like the dad oddly, and that's one part of like Japanese culture is like the dad wants them to be into this fanciful theory. So like when the little girl comes up with this, he's always like, "Well, let's go see."
Yeah, the dad doesn't
It's-
question that
Nope.
she found a giant fuzzy
Nope.
monster.
Let's go see what he has to say. It's
you
like all
came to
the
me and
time.
said you were hanging out with a bear thing in the forest. I'm like, get away from the bear.
I gotta tell you, I watched this with Lorna. The Totoro itself and that whole whimsy part of it is fascinating, and it grabs you immediately. I can see why people are drawn to that.
Yes.
But the story, I'm just like, I don't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah,
I
because
don't
nothing.
know.
It just ends. So, spoiler alert for a 40-year-old movie or 32-year-old
Yeah.
movie. So the little girls befriend this big fuzzy thing, and they're hanging out with it. Their mom's still sick. At one point, one of the little girls go missing. So the older sister asks the big fuzzy
Why
thing.
didn't Japanese animation do the characters run everywhere? No
Nobody
one
walks.
walks.
Nobody walks. And so the big fuzzy thing helps them find the little girl, and then the two little girls go see the mom outside the window at the hospital, and it just ends. That's kind of it, right?
Well,
Did I miss
like the
anything there?
weird cat car bus
Yeah,
thing.
the cat bus shows up,
and then they
takes
get
them.
a call, and then but the mom's not sick, but then we got to call dad who's working in the city still. It's very weird, but I got to tell you, I don't want to sound like Steve, but I can appreciate the visuals of it.
Yes.
I can watch I would literally watch it just to watch the visuals of it. I can't explain it. It's just they look beautiful, and it's 1988.
Yeah. Japanese animation always, I felt, as far as drawing and technical ability, was always a little above American.
It's crazy.
But so because the story is so goddamn weird, you write it off to the Japanese. So now that's 1988. I'd like to take a look at a newer one that Princess
we talked about Mononoke.
and see how far they've come in that time. But I won't knock this too bad. I would probably give this a 6, right?
Yeah, I'm closer to like a 7. I enjoyed the character. I really thought that the character, but the character didn't speak. He just,
Yeah,
like
just
that's
ran.
all it did. I don't know.
The character did remind me a little bit like those ones off that we took Holly to with the monsters. It was you, Heather, me, and Holly went to IMAX and saw. What is that? Well, I can't remember the name of that.
Monsters Inc.
No, it was a children's book that came to life.
Oh, the Wild Things
Yeah,
Are.
it kind of meant a little bit like
Yeah,
that.
it's
Had
in
a little
that vein.
vibe to that.
But like even I don't know, it's just weird. It's a weird thing. I don't know.
Yeah, so 6 out of 10 for me, 7 out of 10 for Charles. I imagine Lauren will probably give it an 8 because she just liked the little thing.
Yeah,
but Lauren doesn't care about the story
at one
all.
point, the youngest daughter's like sleeping on the Totoro, and the Totoro.
Yeah.
It's just,
It's like a big giant fluffy thing.
yeah, it's like a huge bean bag.
Yeah, she'll name it Steve. So there you go. There's a little look at Steve's anime, and Charles is going to join me again next week.
Yeah.
Also, I am working on. I've done some research, and I found him on Netflix. Gundam the UC. This is what it's called.
I'm not watching Gundam.
No, I'm on my own on this one. I know Gundam. UC stands for unicorn. Somehow.
Unicorn.
Yes.
Because when I see a Gundam, I think of unicorn.
Well, this main one is all white with a giant spike, and then when it transforms, the spike. I'm working on that for 2 or 3 weeks from now, because it's a series. It's 8 episodes, hour each. So I'm trying to learn the Gundam thing, but I found out it came out in 1979. And there's like 1,000 different stories and all different storylines and timelines. It's like if you were jumping into Star Wars and didn't know the timeline, you would have no idea what to watch or what happened.
Yeah.
So, anyways, all right. So that's a look at my quirky animation because Holly loves it so much, and she sees me watching it and just rolls her eyes and walks out the room all the time. She's like, "What is this trash?" So, Bill, you read a book this week.
I'm
What did you
interested in this. I love the Mandela effect.
I'll be honest, I don't know what this is.
You don't know what the Mandela effect is?
No, school of
Wow.
I know
love
who
it.
Nelson Mandela is, but I don't know
I
what this
love
Well,
it.
How the hell
Here,
do you even
so-
know?
You don't know what third party is, but you're going to break someone else's ball.
No, she's not breaking any balls. She's just saying she's loving
No,
it.
I'm just talking shit.
Oh, okay, so the book that I read, and I just pulled this from Amazon. The title is Mandela Effect: Analysis of a Worldwide Phenomenon. It's written by a guy named T.S. Caledon. Now, I guess first of all, my knowledge of
Why is
of
BB so
Mandela
bright
effect-
right now? Are you like looking at a
Because
laptop?
I have some notes. and
Oh,
I'm-
wow, BB
man.
got official.
So actually, I kind of came to the Mandela effect through my wife. She frequents the website Reddit and had been reading it and kind of brought opinions about it. And basically, what that is, it's when a large mass of people believe that an event occurred that did not, or have the recollection of something that is completely inaccurate. What I didn't realize.
Can I
and
pause you for a
this came
second?
in the
Can I
book-
pause you for a
I'm
second?
sorry?
Can you give me an example of what you just said?
Like we all believe in aliens,
Sure,
even though we've
okay.
never seen
Do
it.
you-
Well, okay, initially where it came from. So, and a lady in 2009 started a website of the Mandela Effect because she had been at a conference and had realized that a number of people had a completely wrong recollection of Mandela's life and when he died. Mandela was imprisoned in the 1980s. He spent 27 years in prison. And then eventually, I think it's actually maybe even in the 70s. But as we know from history, he's finally freed at the end of apartheid. He becomes a national or a worldwide hero, and then eventually becomes the president of South Africa. I think he died in 2008. A lot of people thought he died in prison. And
So stupid people that don't know facts. is what
well,
we're
but
dealing-
other things like, for example, let me throw like
Curious
a pretty
George. Did
generic
he have
one
a
at you.
tail? Did Curious George have a tail or not?
Yeah,
I don't
does
like the
Curious
dumb
George
ones.
have a tail?
Or like
How do you know that?
Or how you spell Cheez-Its. People,
What TikTok covered
Yeah.
or like
or
how,
for
how you
example-
spell Febreze. People think you spell it different. How you spell
With
Looney
two
Tunes.
E's and-
That's
yeah.
what.
How do you spell?
I know so many.
Without looking at a box, how do you spell the word fruit and Fruit Loops?
Fruit.
I think it's 2 O's because it's got the picture of the
It
2
is
O's.
2 O's. Yeah, but a lot of people remember the same. Here, I've got a couple from Star Wars that I thought you guys would like.
I know way too many of these. It's so
Did
bad.
C-3PO have a silver lower leg?
Yes, on the right side.
Okay. A
No.
lot of people believe that he didn't. He did. It's at the minimum in the first 2 movies.
Don't ever question my Star Wars
The
ability.
2 specific scenes, and the first one, A New Hope, I think is what it's called, right?
Yep.
The scene, it's prominent in the scene where Luke and his uncle take C-3PO and R2-D2, and then I guess there's a scene in.
I only know that because most of the action figures come out with the silver leg on them,
Yeah,
and I always
yeah.
thought it was
Empire
wrong.
Strikes Back.
Come to find out that's how it was.
Yeah, there's some scene where
Why did you read a book about
Land
this?
of color.
I don't understand. You just read a bunch of different
I think
theories that
it's
people
so
get
cool.
wrong?
I think
Well,
it's
but no.
cool.
So the thing is, what I didn't know about this, I thought it was just, and the way I've always seen it is just people's misremembrance of things.
Yeah, misconception.
However, there is a contingent of people that believe that it's like a second dimension. So this guy actually, in a claim, and I took this from the book directly, that it's not, the Mandela effect's not a matter of people remembering differently, but the fact that the solid reality of our timeline has suddenly changed. Basically, the real world that we once knew is now gone, has been replaced with some sort of simulation or dark realm that appears somewhat like we
the
knew,
second
but it's
dimension.
completely different. Basically, like different
Took a
dimension.
weird turn.
BB's
Dude's
talking
a
about
nut
glitches
job,
in the
basically, is what I
Matrix.
took from the book, and it was
Wow.
hard for me to kind of get through, because then it went through a number of like over 100 questions that fit Mandela effect, and to be honest with you, a lot of them were focused on things I just don't know about. Like there were like 5 questions on a Wizard of Oz. There were a lot of things about biblical references, and I'm not well versed in the Bible. But like here's another Star Wars one for you. At the end of Empire Strikes Back, does Darth Vader say, "No, Luke, I am your father"?
No.
He just says, Luke, I'm your father.
Luke, I'm your father. He didn't say
He
no.
doesn't say Luke at all. He says Luke. Or
I
I
am
went
your
back and
father.
watched this to be sure.
I,
He says Luke and asks
I'm
if he
trying to
knows about his
understand
father.
him.
At
So-
the end, he says, "No, I am your father."
So you're saying, so if 50 people believe C-3PO's leg was gold, not silver, that now it could have been a second dimension they were in?
Well, that's what this guy is claiming, and that's what kind of ruined the book for me, because
He
he
just
just
made
went
the
way
Charles
out.
head to explode.
Basically, that it was,
Explode.
because he
I
was
just am
pointing out
shocked that
things that
BB
I
got.
know.
This is the problem with books. He got
Well, yeah,
invested and just
so he
powered
was-
through it. I mean, this is
he
a
was
solid
claiming-
2 out of 10.
Oh yeah, if that. And he was. The thing
What
is,
is
I do
this?
find the Mandela effect interesting, and I enjoyed it. Like Abby would read me questions, and I would enjoy reading the questions to see how my recollection was against the reality. But this guy was just going, and he was
My lips were
when he
stinging
was
from those.
pointing at things that I just remembered very
Wait a minute,
clearly.
shit.
Like one movie reference, for example, that came through is the.
I'll meet 4.
And you all know how my thing is with a Few Good Men. And then he asks whether, whether Tom Cruise says, "I want the truth," and then
You can't
Jack
handle the
Nicholson
truth.
says, "You want the truth," and you want answers, and he says, "I want the truth," and you can't handle the truth.
There's a big
He
one in
actually
Forrest
asks
Gump.
about wanting answers, and then he says, "I think I'm entitled to them." I think I'm entitled to it. Then Jack Nicholson says, "Do you want answers?" And then he says, "I want the truth." You can answer. But there were a number of these.
There's one in Forrest Gump.
Yes, there is.
Why
And
is
the
this a
thing,
book,
Forrest-
BB? I'm trying. I don't want to.
Not to sidetrack, but how do you know about all this?
Because I read about it so much on the internet. It's
Yeah, it's a big phenomenon on the internet.
Holly
There's
has a
ton of-
little itch with the conspiracy theories and stuff. She loves
loves
them. So that's out
Yeah.
Holly's alley. So you're hitting
the
Holly's
four-
alley.
I don't
Yeah,
think
the
this is
Forrest Gump thing is,
conspiracy
does he
theories.
tell the
though.
lady at the park bench that life is like a box of chocolates, or life was like a box of chocolates? Mama said. And the thing is, if people remember it as my mom always said life is like a box of chocolates. He actually says life was like a box of chocolates.
Okay.
She
But who gives a
when he's
shit?
seen
That's what
earlier
I'm
in her
saying.
deathbed. Yeah, what I found
They're
is
not
that,
they're not band-aids, they're fabric adhesive bandages or something. I mean, what are we into
well,
right
no,
now?
None
like,
of this
okay,
proves
for
second
example, who makes
dimension.
Stouffer's? Who makes stovetop stuffing?
I don't fucking know.
Stouffer's?
What?
Stofers, I
No,
guess?
I thought the same thing. It's always been Kraft. Or
Okay.
who
gives a shit about this stuff,
The
baby?
thing is, this is not. Of course, they're stupid. But it's about
just saying.
it's the whole thing about people's recollection of things. And this guy took it to a completely other level that just completely lost me.
Yeah, I don't
And
know
it
about the
kinda
second
ruined it, 'cause
dimension
I
thing. It's
enjoyed-
just people not
I
remembering.
enjoyed the
correctly.
Mandela effect stuff until I got deep into the fact that people actually think that we're dealing with like different dimensions of reality.
So he's a
And
whack job trying to explain how people remember shit wrong.
well, he's basically explaining that it's not really that people remember it wrong; it's that somehow reality has changed. And
Holly, do you believe reality has changed, or we just remember it wrong?
well, it's like this whole thing. But I just think like
Who gave you the recommendation of this book, BV? Your wife?
no. I was trying to think of things that were.
Didn't she recommend that bullshit stand-up to you, too? I mean, you got to stop taking
Well, no,
her
she didn't
recommendation.
We're
recommend
talking to her immediately.
No. I said I was going to do something that was different than sort of the stuff
Well,
I
you did
usually
reach
read
out.
for sports,
Congratulations,
entertainment,
BB.
whatnot. And I was trying to decide whether I wanted to touch like a real serious like political subject, or like read one of the many books that are out there about race issues and
I was going to say rape.
social inequalities. I decided, well, I'll do something a little bit lighter. I remember enjoying the questions about Mandela. Like I thought I'd read into it, just thinking there'd be like more cool questions. I did not expect it to go this way. She didn't suggest I read about it at all. This was all me.
I need you
And
to
I'm
rate
sorry
this
I did
book
it.
out of 10. Yeah, what is this?
I would rate it like an 0.5.
I mean, this is
Like, to be honest with you, I didn't actually complete the entire book.
oh my god! How much time did you have
where
into
I found
it?
different stuff and
How much time did you have into it? Because I'll tell you here's the problem with books. 0.5. How much time did you have into it?
I probably wasted about an hour and a half, 2 hours total.
Of your life gone.
So, Holly, you know about the Mandela effect. Is
Yeah.
this a TikTok thing, or is this a website you go to?
It's like all over. I find it on Instagram. I find it on TikTok. It's on the regular internet. It's like.
So, what are your thoughts on it? It's just people not remembering.
I just think it's cool. Like I think, like I'll say what I think, and then they like say that it's wrong, and they.
You don't think it's a second dimension or altering
No, but I
timelines?
heard people describing it as that.
Yeah. All right. I didn't know. I learned something new about my daughter. She's down with the Mandela effect. Who knew? I believe there's something there that people recall things wrongly. It happens to all of us. But I don't think it's a second dimension or.
I don't know why you read a book about it. Like,
Yeah,
who
I-
finances a book
Well,
about it? It's a website scroll through where you go, oh yeah, that is weird that you don't remember that right.
Yeah.
That was one of about 7 books on the Mandela effect
There's
that I found
7 books on Mandela
Amazon.
effect.
Wow.
Oh, jeez.
Kindle form. Yeah.
A major one's got to be music lyrics, right? Everybody gets those
Yes.
wrong. That's
Yeah,
gotta
there
be-
was a big
example
one
of
about
that
We
is
Are
the
the
end
Champion.
of We
the
Are the
World.
Champions.
Oh, we just said the same one.
Yeah. Holly said the same
Does
thing.
it end? We are the champions of the world. Are those the last words of the song?
I guess. I don't even remember. But
No, it's not.
It actually ends. We are the champions, but most people remember it as ending is of the world. I mean,
This
it's
feels like
completely
a
insignificant.
bad Trivial Pursuit thing. Is that why you enjoyed this, BB? I don't
Well, he
know.
didn't enjoy
Well,
it. He
initially,
bailed
yeah,
on
and
it.
that's what. Yeah, because she'd ask questions. And I
Sounds
thought,
like
okay, this is
bullshit
interesting.
trivia is what it sounds
Just
like.
to see what I would. It's not really trivia. It's just kind of well, okay. Did I
It's so
remember it right? 'Cause
stupid.
a lot of times it's things that you think you know, but you don't really remember it in that level of detail. And man, this guy completely ruined it for me.
Like, look up like a Babe Ruth book and tell me about his drinking or something. Like, what are we into with this Mandela effect? I don't like this, BB. Oh, yeah.
You said obscure.
You
man.
said obscure. He pulled out obscure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Charles,
So much for
that.
that.
Yeah,
Look up the history of Flaming Hot Cheetos.
yeah.
baby.
Look up.
Careful
Tell me
what you
about
ask for.
read a book about Nabisco or something. I don't know what's going on.
All right, so there you go. There's our book report for the week. A very unique one. Bill went out on a limb there. Charles, you have an ear dryer?
Yeah. So okay. So this is my hard-earned review of the week. Lorna got the gnarliest swimmer's ear. The day after she swam for the second part of the day with Holly, she was in there for like 4.5. He found it. Yeah. 4.5 hours in the swimming pool. And she was miserable. So bad so that she got swimmer's ear so bad, she had to go and get antibiotics for it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she was just for the past week. So what this thing is, so basically what swimmer's ear happens is when you're in the pool all day, you get water in your ears. And the funky water that sits in your ears literally creates like an infection in your ear canal. So when you get out of the pool, I jam a Q-tip in my ear. It's what I do. I know Steve does. I guarantee you.
Holly does from time to time.
Yeah. So what this does is this is from ear, nose, and throat doctors. This is a battery-operated ear dryer that will dry the water out in your ear. You can turn it on. So it has a bunch of interchangeable tips, and it just blows heated air in to dry that water up. And that's all it is. It works okay. There's also a water, like a swimmer's ear drop that you can get for after in the pool.
Part here.
That's where it draws the air in.
Oh.
Yeah. It looks like an old flip phone is what it looks like, you know? And basically,
Weird,
you
big and chunky.
you shove it in your ear, and for 85 seconds, it blows warm air in there to dry that ear out. I would probably say it works okay.
Wouldn't it be better with it sucking the water out?
Well, I think that it's just you want to dry up the canal. I think is what this is supposed to do, because that irritation comes from that water being in there. And we're doing this along with the drops, and she's been really good with it. So If you swim a lot, it's something to look into. I would say the drops are way more effective, but this is for my daughter's a fish, as Holly is as well. We have a little pool in the house, so she goes swimming multiple times a day. We can't do the drops every time she goes into the pool, so this is a good stopgap for the drops. And
Have you suggested earplugs?
She's a little kid. She knows she's not going to wear it, and we got her the earplugs, and she puts them on the ladder, and they kind of stay there. It's like, okay, great. You got earplugs, She's like, yeah, okay. So it's got a timed sequence to it and everything. Again, if you have a pool at your house, or if you're one of those households that has a lot of swimming, it's something to consider. Problem is, it's like a $60 item. And if you dealt with what I dealt with the swimmers here with Lauren in the past few weeks, you'd gladly pay the $60 because she was up every night. It was just the worst. She couldn't sleep through the evening. It was like she was a 2-year-old again. I hated it. So we're doing everything. But that's a Max ear dryer. It's the battery-operated little ear dryer that dries the ear or the water up in your ear. So
Now, Holly, would you use that, or are you more of a Q-tip girl?
No, it'll go out.
Do you even lean your head?
have you
this
gotten
way?
swimmers ear in your
No.
life? Yeah. Lord, I got it so
Feels like
bad.
some people are more susceptible to it.
Yeah,
than
I think
others.
so too. Yeah, and I think also with Lorna being younger, I think that your ear holes are a little smaller, and I think that doesn't allow the water because like I can just kind of tip my head and it kind of rolls out. So,
All right. And now the other review is just be a quick one because Charles has talked about these company a long time. I've joined the Ryobi family. Bill's got it right there. I got the 18-volt set, the Weed Whacker, and the Leaf Blower. I tried the Weed Whacker today. It's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
You hit that thing on high. I had an old beat-up Black & Decker, and I had to run it over the weeds about 82 times to get the come one. Like, we had some grass growing in the crack of the cement.
was that out?
Boom,
of there?
ripped it out of there. I will say I did wear flip-flops while doing this. It tore my legs up.
Rookie move.
Don't
rookie
do
move,
that.
yeah.
But the Ryobi sets, I'm not going to talk much. Everyone knows about them. And the leaf blower thing works great, and the weed whacker. Big thumbs up from me.
What'd you
Michelle
pay
likes
for the
them.
kit?
It wasn't a kit. I bought them individually at 110, about 119 each. So
Oh, okay. So you're
about
in cheap.
250 total.
But the nice part is no maintenance. I love the
Yeah.
battery-powered stuff. It's great.
yeah, and it really works great. Michelle couldn't figure it out at first. She had the weed whacker on low. I don't know why it has two settings. Shouldn't it just be
Mine
on
doesn't.
high?
Mine just has the high whip.
Yeah, I don't know why you
Does
would
it
ever
auto
put it on
feed the
low.
line,
I think so.
or do you
but
bump it?
There's I know there's a button, but I think it auto feeds as well.
Yeah, so mine auto feeds when I stop it. It'll click out. The trick is with that is to buy the generic contractor roll and just re-roll your spools.
Oh well, we bought the 3-pack of spools.
Yeah, just find out whatever gauge that is and then just
It'll
buy
be a
the
while
contractor
before we
pack.
run out. I mean, we don't.
You'd be
weed whack
so
that
shocked how yeah.
much. But and it's also got the trimmer built into it, so you can hit it and it turns to the side and you trim the lawn too.
Do the edging.
Yeah, the edging and stuff like that. So Ryobi, good products. I like them a lot. Dad and Charles are both big fans of those. So if you got a chance, get away from that gas stuff. Now this is what to watch this week. There'll be a lot of stuff on here that Holly will not want to watch, but Holly, we're going to let you know. You tell me if you want to see it or not. This is kind of a shot at the. Not a lot of
Holly's
stuff
not
on it.
into it at all.
First one, there is a movie out with Kevin James, and it's a serious movie, and he plays like a psychopath.
He's like a neo-Nazi or something, isn't
something
he?
like that, and he's out to either kill or hurt this girl named Becky. Name of it is Becky. It's on video on demand for $19.99. Got terrible reviews. I do like when people try to step outside their comfort zone from time to time, like a comedic actor doing drama. But I wait for a rental on this one, so I'm a big no. Holly, do you want to see the movie
No.
Becky? All right, Charles.
BV.
Yeah, no. Come to think about it, I haven't, before all this COVID and everything kicked in, I've been to the theater once in the last 5 years. So it's going to have to be a really damn intriguing movie for me to spend $19.99 to watch it at home.
Like Scoob.
This is not one of them.
I still want to get A Quiet Place too. I to your point, I don't think I would pay the $20, but I'd definitely intrigued for $6.
Yeah.
I think that's what it boils down to.
I think we're both finding the same. Next one, I'm already playing it, so I'm a big yes. The Last of Us Part 2. I will have a full review with some gameplay footage on our YouTube channel next week. But The Last of Us Part 2, it's zombie apocalypse. Well, they call it the infection, the infected. It's not zombies. They always change it up. I'm a big yes. Holly, obviously, you're probably not going to play
No,
this,
but
right?
it was funny because I saw him die. He literally jumped off this bridge and
Yeah.
like he just the character hit their head on a rock in the water and they died.
It's one of those games where, like, certain points of the game, you could jump in the water, no problem. Then other points, you're just going to randomly die. And it drove me crazy. But anyway,
Invisible walls.
yeah. Bill, any interest in The Last of Us Part 2 to play?
No, and have we not already exhausted this whole zombie apocalypse crap?
Yeah. This is not zombies, technically. It's the
Whatever.
infected. That's their way around
End
it.
of the world, some kind of apocalypse, major pandemic. I mean,
Wow.
we've got a real pandemic. We still have to. We need amusement still. This isn't enough.
Charles?
Definitely going to get like a Game of the Year edition or something later on. Yeah.
So the next is The Order. This is kind of like, I think it's witches, medieval stuff. This is probably up more Michelle's alley than any of ours. It's a season 2, I guess, on Netflix. It came up in a big ad the other day. I'm a big no. Holly?
Nope.
You don't care about witches? Bill, anything about witches?
You could probably just pass me up on the rest of this. No.
All right, Charles.
It sounds terrible.
I'll
I've
put
never.
a background up. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, like if me and you haven't heard of it, it's got to be obscure, and I've never heard of it.
This other one that they've been promoting for a while on Amazon. It's an actual movie. It's $7,500. Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays that airplane pilot, then the plane gets hijacked. So that's all the details I know. It seems like your traditional plane hijacking. He's a pilot trying to save everybody. No thanks. Holly?
No.
And Bill said skip him. So Charles,
Well, is it like Passenger 57?
I don't
I'd
know.
watch that.
I don't know the
That was
details.
at least funny.
It's not funny. I know that much. He plays a pilot trying to save his hijacked airplane.
I gotta tell you, it's on Amazon, which means it's gonna be a turd. I'm a no.
And this last one I put on here because it's actually the Muppet Babies Playdate. They're actually puppets.
Oh, they are?
But it looks like it's like Sesame Street style, like it's aimed for like younger than Lauren, probably Logan's age.
Because they've redone the Muppet Babies now. They're CG. They're not the old animation.
Yeah, I don't. This from the stills I saw, it looked like they were puppets. It might be CG, but I'm a no because it's really aimed for like the handy mandy kind of crowd than it is. Holly, any interested in the Muppet?
No.
Babies? No. You ever see the old show?
No.
Oh man, no Muppet Babies for you. Bill, you a big Muppet Baby fan?
No.
I gotta tell you, much like you have a soft spot for Looney Tunes, I have a huge soft spot for Muppets. I really do. I used to love Muppet Babies, the cartoon back in the day. I ran around all those parts at the Disney place, like wanted to see it, and it's kind of dying. And to her point, the
The
generations
Hollywood
just don't.
Studios part?
I like the Muppets. I don't know. I'm just old school that way. I do enjoy some Muppet stuff, but I wouldn't watch this. But I just big shout out for Muppets.
Would you watch Elmo's Night? Well, he's not really a Muppet. He's more Sesame
Yeah,
Street.
he's Sesame Street.
There's a difference, Holly. You can't have the
I
Sesame
know.
Street.
I'm not uncultured like you.
Oh, dang. So, all right, Charles, what's happening in Punch You in the Face world?
Yeah, so there was a UFC event from the Apex this past Saturday. BB, did you watch it? It was on ESPN.
I only saw the 2 fights you have up on the co-main events. So the only
Oh,
two I saw.
okay. Well, so the first one's not, or the second one's not the main event. I just wanted to talk about the whole thing with it. So Curtis Blaydes fought Alexander Volkov, and he wrestled him. It was boring, and he said he was going to wrestle him to the ground. He just kept taking the guy down, kept taking the guy down. It was a boring fight, and he did what he said he was going to. But man, from the viewing standpoint, boring. All right. Now, the other thing that's on here, this isn't the co-main event, BB. I just put this on here. So Austin Hubbard fought a guy named Max Rohskopf, and the Rohskopf guy took the fight at short notice. He quit on the stool in between the second and third round. Why this is controversial, though, is he kept telling his cornerman to call it, and the cornerman didn't. Nevada State Athletic Commissioner stepped in and called the fight. The cornerman wouldn't call the fight for him. So then there's a big hubbub about, like, they're not listening to their fighters and all this kind of stuff. Like, these cornermen aren't doing what is in the best interest of the fighter. And if someone says to call the fight, the cornerman's job is to call the fight. It was all over Sports Center today about it, and it was kind of crazy.
So he had the towel like Rocky did. and wouldn't throw it in.
And he just kept going like, no. The guy said call it 9 times, and the guy never did. And like I said, the athletic commissioner guy, because they stand there during this with the athletic commissioner guy with them in each corner, he stepped in and said call it. And it looked bad for the UFC. I mean, if you gotta, if you're
Why do you want to call? He's getting his ass kicked.
he got his ass whooped. But I mean, he took the fight on short notice. It was his first UFC fight. I mean, no one would have held it against him, but he just got smoked. And with the controversies attached to, like I said, this corner guy just didn't want to call it. If someone says, I don't want to fight, okay. I mean, just stop browbeating these people into it, I think is what's the big controversy. And then next week, we've got one last fight from the UFC Apex, and then they go to Fight Island on the 11th.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
There's a couple good ones on this one. Again, BV, check it out on ESPN. You got Dustin Poirier versus Dan Hooker, and you got a Mike Perry versus Mickey Gall. Both of those it's going to be an entertaining fight, and I can't wait. Dustin Poirier is a pretty entertaining guy, so that's the last before they head to Fight Island for the July the 11th, I believe, is that.
Just real quick before we leave UFC, Holly, what are your thoughts on UFC with the women fighting? You enjoy that?
I don't like UFC in general. I don't know. I feel bad watching people just get hurt. I feel so terrible.
You feel bad.
I feel so terrible. The fact they're just like trying to, I don't know. I don't like it.
Women fighting makes you cringe along with them?
I just think that's dumb.
Oh, wow.
It's like,
I did not influence that opinion. She came up with that on her own.
That's her call.
Yeah.
I love watching people get hurt. I love it.
I don't mind
can't.
guys. But
it
two
makes me
women
feel
just
so
bugs
bad.
me.
Like,
I think it's crazy when someone lives their life just wanting to do this like violent sport. It's crazy to me. They're sleeping on people's couches and training 24 hours a day, and it's a different type of animal, man. It's crazy.
All right. So now, go ahead, Bill.
Sorry. On a complete side note, yesterday afternoon, flipping channels, stop on the Food Network. There was a Guys Grocery Games. It was like a celebrity team, with a chef, Karate Hottie.
Oh, there you go.
On the show. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Guy Fieri got in a fight. I'm like, what?
No,
What channel was that on? I'd watch it.
Throwing them hands.
Yeah.
And
Him
by the
versus
way,
that
she was
girl with the
really
blonde
annoying.
hair, too.
Yeah, she's
I'm
really
glad you
annoying.
watched.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Holly. So we have you on. I'm not sure I'm going to have you back on before school starts. This might be your last view.
We're hoping you're not back on.
Look at Bill found an Annapolis High School background. Bill with
wow,
the
that
hot-
actually makes Annapolis look a little presentable.
Yes. So we want predictions. Now, I know you don't know exactly what's going to happen. We want your thoughts. We want to hear what Holly, going into the 11th grade.
I know, right? Isn't that so crazy?
It's a big year.
I'm
Big
so
year.
excited.
You
I've
got-
never
you
been
gotta
more
take a lot-
excited in my life.
You got to take a lot of tests.
What
this
did
year,
you
right?
get? Did you get your last report card?
Yeah.
Was it just pass fail or
Yeah,
just-
but I had A+ in every class. I had 6 A+ and 1 A, and then they
feels
just
robbed.
they
She
changed
just got
them.
a pass.
They just changed them to G for good pass. I said, "Wow."
I was like, that's bullshit. Where's my A+?
Honestly, come on, like
She's going to print the report card
my
out and
grade
change it. Oh, man.
my grade point average should have went up a lot. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not mad.
Okay.
But-
So this coming year, Holly, first question on everyone's mind, do you think you're going to be in class?
In class, yes. I hate online so much. I mean,
Do you think they're going to incorporate any online with your in-class stuff?
They keep asking about it, but I don't think so because they can't enforce it, and nobody did it.
Yeah, that was their own fault. They should have enforced stuff this spring when
They had the ability to.
They didn't do it though. With
Governor
D7.
said you could. Yeah, the governor said
D7
they
didn't.
could have.
Maybe
yeah.
maybe Heather's school district. did.
Lauren had to pass fail stuff. I mean, she had to do all the work.
Holly did the work. I made her do it, but she didn't have to. That was the sad thing.
It wasn't enrichment for Lorna. It wasn't enrichment in my wife's job either.
Yeah, I know so many schools you had to do it and
Yeah.
all that. Like Dearborn, all of that. you
Heather had to
do
let
it.
I think a handful of kids she had to notify
Yeah.
didn't pass.
So,
What?
sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. So, this junior year, right?
I'm so excited.
Is there going to be sports? Do you feel there'll be
I
sports?
think there's going to be sports. We've already been having football practices. Cheerleading trials are next week. The only thing that hasn't started is volleyball and swim.
And those usually start, but they usually don't start till August, anyways, right?
Yeah.
They can't do swim right now because the governor won't let them open up the aquatic facilities.
I don't see why not. You can put enough chlorine in that mug. you may go blind.
Because my friend Bree, my other best friend, because she had a swim
Other
meeting.
BFF.
They had a swim meeting, and the coach was explaining because our sports director, he's taking everything very seriously. He's like, well, if you guys do swim, you're gonna have to wear masks like all the time, even when you're not obviously when you're swimming,
Walking to the
But he
lanes
said
and
even,
stuff.
as soon as you get out the pool, like you have to put a mask on. Like it doesn't
How's it
matter.
gonna work with a paper mask and got a wet face?
I don't know. I was telling Bree about that.
It's all just
I was-
toilet paper. And
I was like, that seems kind of like dumb to me. Plus, it's so hot in there. It's like,
I don't think you guys are going to go back in full force. I think there's going to be A team, B team. I think you guys are going to go 2 days on, 2 days off, and then have a day of online. That's my opinion. I don't think, especially if you look at the numbers that are still spiking in Florida and all that kind of stuff, I don't see how, because it's not even you guys, it's the adult faculty that's around you that stands a chance of getting sick. So what happens if a whole classroom of kids infects, a certain amount of faculty? It's impossible. I don't think there's no way to social distance in these high schools. You guys are packed in like sardines, and they have to do that to get all the money from the state and the government and all that kind of stuff. You got to go to max capacity. I don't see how it's possible. Heather is part of the return team for her school district, so she's working with the administrators in the building to come up with the ideas and the concerns and all that kind of stuff. But, I mean, it's crazy.
And do you feel there'll be full classrooms when you go back, or you think they're going
our
to
class, well, Annapolis specifically isn't very large. Like it's pretty.
How many kids in class do you think? About 20? Would you last
We
year before the
at
COVID?
like most our classes have like at most 28 kids in them.
No way. You got to go above 30. There's no way. There's no, you're ballparking that.
No, our classes aren't big like that.
It's not, there's no way. Your core classes, like your Englishes and your maths and your science and all that kind of stuff, have got to be packed to the gills. Every school district packs those kids in there.
Yeah, science classes can only.
You just see Holly back.
Science classes can only hold 28 at most.
I'm telling you, they pack those kids
Could you do
in.
that Holly math one more time?
Yeah.
Because it's 4 tables of.
Oh, that's true. Mr. Strom's class, they only had those little octagon
Okay,
tables.
I'm just telling you, man. These school districts need that money, so they pack those kids in.
All right. So now, what do you think? Now, these are very important to you. I know they are.
What?
Your school dances and homecoming. Are they going to happen?
I am so excited for homecoming this year. If it gets ruined, I will be very, very sad. I don't know.
Do you think like life is just going to go back to normal in the fall? You haven't knocked anything down. Like you just think
No.
like it's going to be September. Come on back, kids. We're ready to go.
Yeah.
Wow, you're crazy. You're very optimistic.
Positivity is key.
Yeah, okay, kiddo. When you're sitting there going, my life sucks, my junior year's trashed. I'm like, yeah, okay, your uncle told you it's going to be messed up.
You can be positive it's not going to be the same.
Yeah, there's no way.
So, like, if you get to go homecoming, but no one can, everyone has to dance within 6 feet of each other, away from each other.
It's not even that. You guys won't even be able to go in the cafeteria. You guys are going to be eating in a classroom. Communal tables. They can't do it.
And also,
Not according to Holly. Oh,
One
no,
kid
we're
with
going to
asthma.
be in there. We're shooting spitball. No way. There's no way.
Well, I mean, she's 16. She's got positive.
Yeah, she is
We
super
are in our
positive.
40s and jaded.
Yeah, I'm just
So
telling
there's a
you.
difference there.
Holly's like, no, man, we're just gonna roll right in, sitting on tabletops. But I'm
Yeah.
like, there's no way.
Well, we'll
you get
find
one
out.
school.
What?
You get one school with an outbreak, and some kid with asthma gits really sick, and it's over. So
Well, we'll
even if
see.
they do try to go back, to normal.
Nope, not a Holly school. We're chilling.
In her defense,
She's going to swimming and she's going right to lunch. There's no way.
in her defense, the NFL's thinking the same way. So
Yeah.
and they're adults. So,
Yeah.
and now the most important thing probably for you next year: will there be hockey?
There better be. I'm just saying.
Oh man, her beefy
play
beef
hockey?
cake- No,
That's who I play hockey.
she watches her beefy beef.
No,
cakes play
I
hockey.
go and to all the hockey
Hockey's
games.
very important to her and her friends.
So now let me play. Steve says we're jaded, but let's play. So your hockey team at Annapolis is several schools teams together, right?
It's 3 schools.
So now we're mixing kids amongst multiple schools. There's no way that's happening.
when does the hockey season start?
November.
So if there's not a second outbreak, maybe. If there is a
You
second
guys are
outbreak,
very optimistic. I respect Steve's
wow.
optimism.
We're also going under the assumption that the first wave is close to over.
yeah. Well, we don't know. She's gonna find out. She'll be on the
Yeah,
front
I'm
lines.
telling you, I respect.
Hold on to
I
that
respect your
positivity as long as you
positivity.
can.
Yeah.
She is right. I know the football team is practicing now. Tyler's told me that. I know they are
They
practicing.
practice all. Yeah.
Okay,
So maybe I don't know.
but they also don't have all the guidelines yet.
And they also, I mean, your kids allegedly can't catch it, right?
It's
there's
the
some
adults that
outliers.
they're around, Steve. So you get Mr. Strong sick. I mean, and so again, it's not going to go through. All of the kids are probably not going to see it, and if they do, they're going to be asymptomatic and just kind of rolling around.
Yeah.
But then when you got 4 teachers drop dead, like, oh, okay, we might have an issue here.
Well, there'll be a lot of new positions open.
Go right back there.
Well, for Holly's sake, I hope everything goes back.
Yeah,
to
well,
normal
we'll
for
see.
her. And you have
Good
to
luck,
take
kid.
some college tests this year, right?
What?
The SAT.
You
You're taking
SAT.
APs? Right.
I'm taking one AP class and then I have my SATs later on.
Yeah, that's this year though, coming up, though, right?
Yeah.
Do you got a lot of pressure with that? Are you afraid of that? Or you feel like you're prepped for it? Or
Oh, I'm not prepped, but like I'm not that scared for it.
okay. What is
So-
the end game? You still want to you want to go away to school?
Yeah.
What are we thinking?
I don't know.
What's the short list?
I don't know.
Your mom's not listening. What do you got?
There's only like 3
Please don't tell me
colleges.
MSU.
No. I like Wayne State. There's Western, and then there's Central, and
Which one Carrie go to?
Central.
Go to Western.
If you're going to go away, why don't you just go out of state completely?
Because then it costs her
No.
double.
Yeah. Out of state tuition's crazy.
Aim for Western.
All right. Well, Steve's right. I'm gonna agree with your positivity. All right.
It'll work out for
Yeah.
you. We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting to find out, and of course, I'll update everybody on here. But right now, I don't know. I think they're going to try.
Not whatever, but have you guys seen all the athletes, like all the teams that keep getting?
Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh man, dude, we're seeing. I don't know, man.
But Ezekiel Elliott has a great point, though. Who releases these guys' information, though?
Yeah, like the HEPA rolls
Yeah,
or
because
HIPAA?
HIPAA.
He tweeted HIPAA with a question mark on it. Because like soon as he got diagnosed, someone released it like right away.
that's
So he was
crazy.
kind of pissed about that, and I kind of agree with him on that. It's like
Who is that?
Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So there you go. Holly's looking positive for her.
Yeah,
new
she's
year.
positive. Keep
She
positive.
got her car.
Don't let me
so
keep dragging you down, Holly.
She could drive to school in the morning. She can drive home from practice. Dad doesn't have to get her. That's the greatest.
Oh, okay.
So I hope everything works out. And I
They got
hope-
a lot of student parking at Annapolis anymore, or not so much?
they have the parking lot, and then there's the side of the school, front of the
That's
school,
true. Have you figured out where you're going to park?
the side next to the football field.
You still gonna have the same locker next year? Or is it
No, you're supposed to keep the same locker, but they've been switching it. Like they keep switching everyone.
Oh, really? That's the thing. Yeah, I was gonna say we kept the same one all 4 years.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Are they going to sanitize those lockers daily now? Or
I like
how's
my
that?
locker this year. I didn't want them to change it. It's by all my friends, and then it's like
Everything's
easier.
friend based. Have you ever noticed that? Everything. My friends.
Sorry, I have friends.
I know. Don't do those. Get rid of them quickly.
How dare you?
Yeah, no, it never works out. So, anyways, let's go to some news. And Holly is hoping for that hockey season to get cranked up out of all things.
You'd be correct.
Yeah,
And
we're-
homecoming.
Yeah. So the first up on the news is Charles. You familiar with NetherRealm Studios?
Yeah,
Are you familiar with Rocksteady Studios?
I definitely know Rocksteady. Rocksteady did all the Arkham games. and all
Yes,
that.
and they're rumored to be making another DC game right now. They don't know what it is. NetherRealm, of course, is the home of Injustice and the Mortal Kombat games, which I'm a huge fan of. They are going to be sold by AT&T. They're looking to sell them. Top front runners right now is Electronic Arts and Microsoft are looking to buy those. So Mortal Kombat becomes a Microsoft Windows exclusive.
To me,
That would be
yeah, that's what I was
interesting.
gonna say. To me, if I'm that crew, I'd rather go to an EA to get the ability to be multi-platform.
Make more money.
Yeah.
So I hope they end up somewhere good because I like both those studios. I like the games they put out. They're kind of like Steve level games. I really like those. So I hope they end up somewhere decent.
I mean, they're very successful in their titles that they've put out. It's a very successful developers. both of
Now
them.
the question is with Rocksteady, if AT&T sells them, they're no longer a part of DC and Warner Brothers. Do they still keep that Batman?
That's a
contract?
question. Yeah.
And same thing with NetherRealms. Do they still get to do?
Now it's
Injustice?
not in-house kind of thing.
Yeah, so that'd be interesting to see. Now, also a new game came out, Star Wars Squadron. This looks great.
Yeah,
Now,
that's great.
It comes out October 20th. You're flying X-Wings, you're flying
In
TIE
VR,
fighters.
yeah.
You could do it in VR. It's coming out for all the systems. The only thing that's got me a little skeptical, the game's only coming out for $40. So when EA only wants $40 for a game,
Steve's got an eyebrow raise.
yeah, it might be a 5-hour game.
Wait a
but-
minute. It's
and
a 4-hour tech demo.
Yeah, but it would be cool to play a full TIE Fighter game with Charles's VR on and stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll keep you informed on that. Now, Bill, this is the one that affects us, right? The new Madden 21, a lot of details came out. The cover boy, of course, is Lamar Jackson. So I imagine he will be unstoppable in this game. He'll be 2004 Michael Vick. They promised a ton of changes, but I saw some of the list, and one of them is new celebrations in the end zone, and all the stuff they could have changed. Most of it was minor and
I wonder if
useless.
in the franchise mode you're going to have players go out with COVID.
I wanted the feature you could play a game with no crowd.
Yeah,
Just
dude.
turn
Oh
the crowd
my God.
off.
Yeah, we hit with infection. Like 6 players are out. No.
And so August 25th, this will be coming out. Tons of different versions too. Most of it based around that Ultimate Team section because they make a lot of money on that. So
I can nickel and dime you in that area.
yeah. So August 25th. So it's kind of good. Good, and I'll explain my game release here in a minute. But also for you movie buffs out there, if anyone cares, the Oscars has been delayed till I believe April. Is
And
what
they've
they said.
changed a lot of like the requirements of when you got to be out and all that kind of stuff just because of the pandemic.
Yeah, a little known fact: Oscars is one of Holly's favorite shows every year. She watches it very intently.
What?
It's a joke. She's like, huh?
Heather loves it. Heather watches it every year.
I don't watch it live. I record it and then fly through the sections.
Yeah.
But so and then
You want to go to the bathroom? What's
Yes,
going on?
have to pee so bad.
go ahead and go. Yeah,
What are you doing?
Holly's gonna piss herself.
Yeah, what do you? If you got to
That
go,
would be
go.
fat guys first.
Yeah, I mean,
So
yeah, like the show's gonna. Oh, it paused the show. Holly had to tinkle.
so that's the Oscars. Now I want to put on here. PlayStation's got a great lineup here for the rest of the summer. So right now, Last of Us Part 2 is out.
Potentially great.
Potentially, yeah, I should say that. So for June, you can play that game. Then next month, the Ghost of Tsushima looks fantastic.
Yeah,
As I
it
said.
does look great.
That comes out in the middle of July, and then Madden.
But
of
is
course,
that going to have? Is that the Ghost of Tsushima? I wonder if it's going to have the Assassin's Creed kind of first out the door, and am I going to
I don't
repeat?
know.
I'm going to show up at a village, dispatch 4
It looks
guys.
very story based though, so it looks a lot like Last of Us.
To your point, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. So I'm hoping. And then, of course, Madden comes out in August. So I got a game each month for the next 3 months. Unfortunately, is Bill...
We just lost BB. Go ahead.
So hopefully they pan out. And the sad news is there was no... I can't find any Xbox games worth playing in the next 2 months. So Xbox, they bought all these studios and stuff. And we're having technical difficulties with BB.
We dropped BB.
So that's that one. Now, Charles, this is a deep dive a little bit into comic books. I don't buy comics anymore, but I still stay on top of it a lot. DC is shaking up the comic industry.
In what way?
Diamond Distributions. Diamond Distributions is a major company that what their job is to they secure all the comics from DC, Marvel, Image, all of them, and their fleet delivers to the comic book companies. So they're essentially like the Cisco of comic book. So every major company just deals with DC, or deals with Diamond Distribution. They don't deal with the comic book shops. So when a comic book shop owner puts in his order for his 50 Supermans, it goes to Diamond. And then Diamond turns around and is like the middleman to DC, Marvel.
Which is
now.
common in a lot of, like, again, watching so much Shark Tank, as we learned with the comfy and everything else. Are you okay, Holly?
Yeah, I had to pee so bad.
Why didn't you just go? It's so weird. So there's always like a distributor that's kind of stuck in the middle of that.
Yes. And now DC is saying we're done with them. And Diamond's been the main distributor of them for 25 years. And DC said, screw you, we're out. We're going to do it ourselves.
I think that there's something to be said about doing some stuff in-house, as we've learned, like cost cuttings and all that kind of stuff.
Kind of in-house. They still hired 2 new companies that handle all their distribution.
So they just didn't like the deal that they were...
Yeah, and then allegedly Diamonds has some deals. Like a lot of comic book owners don't like them because you ordered 50 Supermen, You only sell 25. You can't send the other 25 back. You're stuck with them. You got to pay for them and do everything. So you got to be very careful on your comic book ordering. Where DC was never a big fan of that. Is Bill coming back or?
Oh, BB's gone.
So Bill just dropped
His
out.
lips turned white and he just passed out.
Yeah, Bill got a heat stroke. So I thought that was interesting. And now they're worried that because DC's pulling away from Diamond, that Diamond might go under. And then Marvel...
DC is that much of a thing? I thought that we were getting away from paper comics, though. I thought that...
You are, but you still got collectors out there that want that paper comics.
Okay.
And so,
that
it's
still
very
exists,
niche and stuff.
yeah.
Just like the vinyl records. It's still out there, but they feel like Diamond might go under without DC contract because they're 50% and, Marvel's their other 50%. And then without DC, that could cripple that company.
Yeah.
So interesting little shakeup coming there. We'll see how that pans out. But it had nothing to do with the pandemic. It just DC was ready to move on away from Diamond because of their practices. So that's the news for you. And Holly missed out on why she's peeing. She doesn't care. It's all good. She just wants her school back. And
Yes,
You're right.
positivity.
and lastly, just so everyone knows out there, I usually end this with the cap anyways. We are now available on Pandora. I told
Steve
Charles
was very excited midweek about this.
because it took a 2-week
The
submission process.
the 7 other services that we've been on for
Yeah,
months,
well,
Steve didn't rank. But as soon as we hit Pandora, Steve was like, dude, we're on Pandora.
He was so excited. He came in my room and told me, and I didn't care. And
we deflated him both because he hit me up, and I was like, okay, cool.
yeah, no,
yeah, I was like,
Steve.
you
I
two
was
need a
like,
lot more enthusiasm.
I was like, nice.
Steve was stoked. Me and Holly pulled like, okay. But you've pushed us to Spotify, iHeartRadio,
well,
Google
I thought
Play.
Spotify was a big one. That was the first big one we
But
jumped.
we've been on Spotify for a while now.
Yeah,
at
no, it
this
was
point.
like we went. It was like Google and iTunes right away, and then whatever random little ones, and then we hit Spotify.
What has been the hardest nut to crack?
It was Pandora for some reason. I
Oh,
had to
they
fill out a
really-
whole application
They had
form.
to vet you pretty hard and
Yeah,
everything.
so they
how
were-
hard is this? Because again, I don't do a lot of the web end is your kind of baby. I do a lot of like the actual show
Mm-hmm.
end. How hard is it once I push the file to you to get them on those services?
It's not very hard because there's a plug-in. Initially, like our first couple of episodes, it was because I had to get the plug-in that then and
There's a learning curve
And I had to
attached
get
to
the
this.
RSS feeds for each one and make sure they're going to all the right ones and make sure it's working. At this point now, the plug-in knows everything. I just put it in there and boom, it goes out. It's not
Oh,
really
so
big.
once I kick that over to you on
Yeah.
Dropbox, it's pretty much just a plug and play thing on the different
Yeah,
services.
and so, but for whatever reason, Pandora is not part of that automatic feed. Pandora, I had to go fill out an application, put in our RS feed, and then make sure and then fill out all of my P's and Q's and the terms and conditions, and then it finally 3 weeks later approved us. And now it'll read our RS feed automatically and bring in the newest episode, so I don't have to do it. It's
So
just,
basically, you generate this RSS feed and point all these services to that.
Yes, and that's how they pull in all our stuff from iTunes and stuff like that.
Okay.
So but in big news, we're on Pandora now, and then just like always, you can catch us on our website, fatguyslittlepodcast.com. Of course, you can catch us on iTunes, Google Play, and wherever you can find podcasts. Spotify, of course, is another big one.
Yeah.
And Spotify's making a big push towards podcasts, so we could be looking good there. And Holly, is there anything you want to say about your upcoming junior year, or anything you want to tell people out there about
Besides
Fat Guys
be
No,
positive.
I'm just excited.
Yeah, Holly's excited.
just
She's good to go.
excited.
Excited for her junior year. Gonna have her pencil case and her new laptop. She's good to go. Standing there with the door
Are you
open.
taking your laptop with you to
No.
school? I was gonna say, wow,
Oh, yeah.
it's sketchy.
That's more of a college thing.
Yeah.
When you're at Western, boy, your mom is gonna drop a kitten.
Why?
She thought you were gonna go to Wayne State but stay home and it's dry. I mean, if you do go to Wayne State, it's pointless.
You guys could be empty nesters.
Yeah. It could be.
I don't want to stay at home.
Well, then, there's no point in going to Wayne State then, because no one really stays on campus at Wayne State. It's in Detroit. You can just drive to and from. Where Western, yes, you will need to stay on campus. You know that.
These are all these conversations you guys got to have in the coming months,
yeah.
huh?
Man,
Holly sees it differently.
fuck it, man. Go to Notre Dame.
Yeah,
let's
spend
go.
$200,000 on that
Yeah,
education.
well, you as long as it's Holly's name on those student loans.
Don't look for Dad's cosign.
Yeah. All right. So that'll do us for this week.
I don't know what happened to BV. BV's gone.
Hopefully, Bill will be back next week. We're not sure. But until then, this is Steve.
And Charles.
And check you next.